Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon, fans, and welcome to Memorial Field inside Bury Stadium. It's time for Westminster Titan football as the Titans take on the Thiel Tomcats. How you doing? I'm Mark Slazak, along with Tom Rook on the sidelines, and jumping from the sidelines up into the booth, it's Ethan Kurtz. Welcome in, Ethan.
Yeah, Mark, a bit of a change of scenery for me, usually down on the sideline, so a different view of the action here today. I can't wait.
All right, glad to have you up here. And Coach Scott Benzel in year 12. We'll talk to him in a moment, but first, let's recognize America with our national anthem. Our national anthem here at Westminster College. Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz. We opened our broadcast moments ago. Let's talk about Coach Scott Benzel. He's in year 12, and Coach has 3 keys to the game.
His first key is to get Quentin Good off to a good start. The freshman quarterback had 108 yards and a passing touchdown against W&J, making his first big appearance in that one. Then his next key is to get after Keller Herzberger, the Thiel quarterback who set a school record of 447 passing yards last week against Geneva. They need to make his job very difficult. And then lastly, they just want to dominate on the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. Protect Quentin Good, make sure he has time to throw, and then get after Keller Herzberger and really show their toughness early on.
You mentioned Quentin Good. He makes his first start as a Westminster quarterback this afternoon. We'll talk more about that when we come back. It's Westminster, it's Thiel. It's coming up next on your home of the Titans, WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Pizza Joe's in New Wilmington, offering pizza, stromboli and calzones, subs, wings, and salads. Pizza Joe's open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. at 209 South Market Street in New Wilmington.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Riardo's Bar and Grill, offering homemade Italian dishes, game nights on Mondays, and trivia nights on Wednesdays. Located at 1223 East Washington Street in Newcastle. Riardo's Bar and Grill, opening at 4 p.m. every day and closed on Sundays. Visit riardos.com or call 724-698-7259.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Sunset Lanes, offering bowling, food, and drinks, located at 1218 Idaho Street in Farrell, Pennsylvania. Sunset Lanes open every day until midnight, closed on Sundays. Call 724-981-9363 or visit online at bowlingoftheballs.rocks.
We're back here at Westminster College, Bury Stadium, Memorial Field. Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz. Mentioned moments ago, Coach Benzel in year 12, a record of 80-36, 69% win percentage. Also 8-0 against Thiel. About the fact that his first ever win at Westminster was a homecoming game against Thiel. 9-1 in his career in homecoming games. Coach Benzel had a chance to sit down with Ben Kelly as part of Titantown Sports. Let's check it out.
The first 2 away games, I go, well, you got 2 really good quarterbacks in Sean and Ty, and you go, that's not a problem. We have 2 good quarterbacks. The problem is when the 2 quarterbacks aren't good. But now you get Quentin Good into the mix. He's starting to look like a pretty good quarterback as well. You said he's still learning how to be a college quarterback. How is that education coming along for your 2 good quarterbacks?
Yeah, our challenge is really just trying to keep quarterbacks healthy. That we've got some good ones. I feel really comfortable with the guys we have in there. Just haven't been healthy. But in terms of Quentin's development, he's a kid that just has some natural ability. His arm talent, as I've mentioned to you before, it's really it's special. But the maturation of how do I lead, how do I take care of the little things, not only on the field, off the field, how do I prepare myself? You have to be an extension of the coaching staff, and that means there's a lot required of you. And the reality of it is we're going to get a lot of criticism when things don't go our way as a head coach, as a quarterback, and you're going to have to be equipped to deal with it. It's not fun, but it's part of the job, and that's the part that we need to see Q develop into that.
Thiel coming up this week, the homecoming game. How do you stay sharp against a homecoming opponent?
Coming off on a pretty resounding and embarrassing loss, that certainly should get guys focused to go out and perform.
Snap,
get
drops
that bad
back,
taste out of your mouth.
looks to the near side on the screen, pass it goes, makes a beautiful.
People there for a couple reasons. One, they love Westminster, and then two, they might this might be the first time they've ever seen us play, and to me that's a great opportunity to put a great impression on those that have never seen us compete. Whether that's somebody that came back, had graduated some years back. To me, I think that's a cool thing about homecoming, and it's a special opportunity. And it was actually the first time I got my first career win was homecoming against Thiel some years back. So I always get super excited for it.
You look for your 81st career win now at Westminster. What are the 3 keys to doing that on Saturday?
3 keys. Okay, we got to get our quarterback off to a good start. Again, with a young guy that's first time in that starting role, it's not a backup situation where you're coming in. There's some expectations, so we got to get him rolling. The second one is we have to get after their quarterback. That young man went for 460. I think he broke every record in single game. So we've got to make his life miserable or at least uncomfortable. And the third one, our line of scrimmages, offense and defensively, we've got to dominate. I believe we're better on our offense and defensive lines. We got to play that way and prove that.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Coach. Now it's time to send it down to the third member of our broadcast crew today. It's Tom Rook, live on the field. Let's go down to Tom.
Thanks so much, Mark. Talking about Thiel's head coach, Sam Bauman, now in his 4th season at Thiel, spent his first part of his career in 2010 at the University of Chicago, where he was an assistant defensive backs coach, then spent the bulk of his coaching career at the College of Worcester in Ohio, spent there 9 seasons, and 9 seasons he was the linebacker coach. 7 of those 9 seasons he spent also as the defensive coordinator, so a very defensive-minded head coach for the Tomcats. Still looking for that first career win against Westminster, 0-3 all-time against the Titans, Mark.
Thank you, Tom. We'll be back to you in a moment for a little weather check, but let's hear from Coach Bauman and what he had to say about playing Westminster.
Well, honestly, the first thing is it's an easy trip. I love that easy drive right down there, but it's always a challenge. They're a really good, well-coached team, play physical, so really good all 3 phases of the game. So we know it's going to be a challenge when we go down and play those guys.
It's time now for a look at Westminster game day weather. Let's go back to Tom Rook.
Yeah, Mark, a bright sunny day down here, 67 degrees currently for game time. Going to get up to 77 as well, though. Winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, not much of a factor, but the sun, nice, bright, sunny day.
Let's take a look at the standings in the PAC. W&J on top of the conference.
Case Western and Geneva both tied for second with 3-1 records. Westminster and Grove City at the 4 and 5 spot with 2-1, and then Allegheny and Waynesburg both 2-2 in that 6 and 7 spot.
Of course, Westminster and Thiel are matchup today. Some other matchups in the PAC include
W&J travels to Latrobe to take on St. Vincent, also at 1 o'clock. Hiram takes on Bethany. Geneva and Waynesburg is Tom Rook and I. We have a pregame show on Titan Radio, Mark, Sword and Shield. That's our matchup of the week, the one to watch out for. The Golden Tornadoes against the Yellow Jackets at 1 o'clock in Waynesburg, and then Grove City take on Allegheny and Meadville at 4.
As you saw moments ago, Westminster at 3-2 on the season so far. Wins against Franklin and Marshall, Case and Bethany, falling last week to W&J by a score of 24-7. Got down early, 17-0. Quentin Good made his first major appearance. He played in the home game against Bethany a couple of weeks ago, but played a lot in the game in the second half and had a good performance. Touchdown pass to Christian Bailey. He will start in the game today, so we'll look for Quentin Good in this one, and let's take a look at Thiel.
For Thiel, it's a 0-5 start to their Season 2 out-of-conference losses to Concordia, Wisconsin, and Adrian. They were in a shootout last week against Geneva, a 51-38 loss. Caleb Romano for the Golden Tornadoes. He's tied for the most in NCAA Division III for passing yards. He's been off to an incredible start. And then on the other side of the things for Thiel, the other side of that passing attack, it was Keller Herzberger, 447 yards in a shootout in that one.
Yeah, we'll talk about these young quarterbacks throughout the game, but Herzberger, boy, did he jump onto the scene in his first start last week. Some of the history between these two teams as we see the Tomcats make their way out.
Yeah, Westminster won the matchup last year, 58-6 in Greenville. They lead the all-time series 51-21-8. And in the first ever matchup between these programs back in 1894, Mark, it was a 40-0 Titan victory.
A lot of history there. The Westminster Titans offensively averaged at about 24 points a game, giving up 13 on the defensive side. And on the Thiel Tomcat side, averaging 45 points a game, giving up 12 as we look at some of those comparison stats. Titans lead the PAC in rushing at 193 yards per game and passing well as well. Let's take a look at the second page of our stats here.
Yeah, offensively, Westminster over 300 yards per game, just around 200 for Thiel. Defensively, the Tomcats allowing more than 400 per game, so they'll have to lower that today if they want to compete with a Westminster defense that's allowing it just over 300.
Some of the key players in the game this afternoon. Well, first we'll go to Quentin Good as he'll make his first start for the Westminster Titans. Had a fantastic career at Aliquippa as a quarterback where he threw for nearly 6,000 yards and 66 touchdowns, a couple of state championships, and 3 WPIAL championships as well. Clayton Cannon Jr. leads the ball carriers for the Titans' #1 rushing offense as he's run for 321 yards on the year. His brother Bright Cannon, one of the top kick returners in all of Division III. Dylan Sleva leads the Titans with 62 tackles, 299 in his career. He is the 5th active D3 tackler here with the Westminster Titans. And Thiel.
On the other sideline, it's Keller Herzberger, who's making his second career start here against Westminster. Threw for 447 yards against Geneva last week. He had 31 completions, the 4th most in a single game in Thiel history.
Westminster wins the toss. They have elected to defer, so Thiel will take the football first in this one. Our referee is Jack Thorne. We'll get to more in a moment. Continue on the Thiel key players.
Dion Logan, another guy you'll see. He's their lead back. He had 72 yards on the ground against Westminster last year. He had 63 through the air against Geneva, also having a receiving touchdown. Riley Dunbar, a freshman, 6'4" receiver, 9 catches, 147 yards, and 2 TDs against Geneva, which doubled his career receptions total in just that game. And then defensively, it's Matt Jordan, 12 tackles in the Geneva game and leading the Tomcats with 42 on the campaign.
Let's take a look at those officials. As we saw Jack Thorne just moments ago, veteran official, our referee. Ryan Murphy, our umpire. Matthew Ridgway, our head linesman. Scott Goldman, the line judge. Darren Bauer, the field judge. Michael Hutton, the side judge. Mark Gradanetti, the back judge. Our officiating crew today as we get you set for Westminster and Thiel. Now, we mentioned a moment ago, Ethan, when you get things said about these two young quarterbacks. Herzberger, newcomer of the week last week, probably could have been player of the week if his team would have won. He had the shootout with Romano at Geneva. Geneva won, so that's probably why he didn't get player of the week. But certainly newcomer of the week has had a great start to his season. 447 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a touchdown run as well in that win last week.
Yeah, unbelievable start to Herzberger's career. You mentioned Romano. He's 1st in Division III in passing yards, 4th across all divisions. That's D1, that's FCS Division II, 4th across all divisions in passing yards. An incredible sophomore season he's having it, so he gets that Offensive Player of the Week nod. But Herzberger, unbelievable start to his career. This is a Thiel team that, prior to him, struggling through the air this season. 8 interceptions prior to Herzberger's first start against Geneva. Absolutely changing things there and turning it around for Thiel in the air.
That was the first time that anybody threw for a 400-yard game in Thiel history, and turned out to be, the numbers-wise, the 8th best in PAC history. Westminster Titans getting set to kick this one off. They'll wear the navy blue jerseys today with the white numbers, the white pants, the white helmets. And the Thiel Tomcats will be in white head to toe, and will also feature a gold number on that back of the white jersey. Andrew Corona set to kick it off. The Titans deferred to the second half. And we are ready to get this underway. Javier White from nearby Sharon High on the near side. And White will take the kickoff, and actually he'll let it go over his head and out of bounds, a touchback. A little bit of a breeze behind Corona, but another touchback on a kickoff, and Thiel will start at the 25. Take a look at the offense for the Thiel Tomcats.
Yeah, we mentioned Herzberger will start under center. His running back is Dion Logan. His receiving core, Adam Kreis, Jalen Benjamin, and Riley Dunbar. The tight end is Drayvon Newton. And then the line, you've got Makai Cortis, David Birch, Trent McCoy, Brandon Flock, and Algenbaugh.
Get that Westminster defense for you in a moment, but we'll get to offensive set. 1st and 10 from the 25. Just underway. Here is Westminster host Thiel. Here's Herzberger. Quick throw over the middle. It's dropped. Intended across the middle. Looking for the wide receiver Riley Dunbar, who had a great game last week as well. But Dunbar cannot hang on. Let's take a look at the Westminster defense.
Yeah, for the Titans, one of the best defenses in this PAC conference. Up front, Jean Gary Joseph, Sonny Casanzale, Mason Manos, and Wes Donner. The linebackers are Dylan Sleva, Mason Palich, Aiden Fletcher. And then the DBs, Lamont Austin, Ricky Cooper, Gavin Nagy getting the start with Devin Mila out, and then Bright Cannon, the other CB for the Titans.
And Mila still dealing with the ankle injury. 9 catches for 147 last week for Dunbar, but did not hang on to that one. And now I see the officials coming to the near side to talk to Coach Benzel. I don't know if we have a clock issue. And that's what they're checking on, but we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, but Dunbar, what a game a week ago for him. We talked about Herzberger, but Dunbar, 18 catches on the season for 241. A couple of touchdowns last week. He's also kicked off.
I was going to say, Mark, fun fact about Riley Dunbar. Not only is he getting the ball or receiving, but he's kicking it off for Thiel much of this season.
He'll do a little bit of everything, Will Dunbar. So Kreis is to the left. Dunbar is to the right. The slot to the left side is Benjamin as we sort things out. White in the backfield with Logan Herzberger on 2nd and 10. And it's a handoff up the middle and nothing doing, as being stoned right away was the running back, Dion Logan. And that hole closed quickly for the Westminster Titans. It was Jordan Gore, 76, to seal the hole.
Yeah, and one of Coach Benzel's 3 keys in this game was to dominate the line of scrimmage. And you see it there, Westminster right away getting in the backfield and making sure Dion Logan has nowhere to run.
It's great when you can get those 3 keys and one of them pops up for you right away. Here's Dunbar again to the near side on 3rd down and 11. Actually, a loss of a yard, a tackle for loss for Gore. 3rd and 11 from the 24. Herzberger back to pass, looks, loads, fires, pass. It's going to be caught. It's a 1st down and more across midfield. And the big catch made out there by Adam Kreis, just over the outstretched arms of the defender. And I think we might have a penalty here as well.
Kreis, who had a touchdown last week against Geneva. It's
There was a hold against Westminster that was declined, so back to your point.
Yeah, Herzberger with a lot of time there to throw. It's a perfect ball over to Kreis, who 37 yards and a touchdown against Geneva. Already with a catch in this one.
1st down and 10 for the Titan 47-yard line. Motion across the formation is Kreis to the right side. Herzberger will hand off, and it's Logan over the left side. Logan going to run it out near the 40-yard line. Not a good run on 1st down.
A nice run from Dion Logan, who struggled last week against Geneva. 18 carries, just 15 yards with a long of 9. Nearly gets that on just his 2nd carry of the game. And this one, a huge hole on the left side as he just kept going.
4th in the PAC rushing a year ago was Logan. Got 146 in the game against Waynesburg earlier this year. 2nd down, we'll call it about 4 here. Thiel moving left to right. And I think Herzberger is going to use a timeout here, and he will. Yeah, somebody off the field quickly at that last moment, and I don't think they had the right formation in that as well. So a timeout in the action. Let you know it's homecoming here at Westminster. Uptown, the town decorated with the storefronts painted by a lot of the different teams. Friends and family welcome back here for homecoming weekend 2025. A jam-packed event, a lot going on, open house, reunions, athletic events, kid activities, food trucks, alumni, food tailgates, and much, much more. Get a chance to look at the town video. Pretty cool. Were you involved in any of the painting?
I actually was not, Mark. We did have one as the lacrosse team, but I had a class, unfortunately, at the time that we were doing it. But always a really special event, homecoming here at the Westminster campus. You know, you mentioned Coach Benzel said in his interview with Ben Kelly on Titan Town Sports, his first career win was on homecoming against Thiel. So it's always meant even more to him and this team as a whole. Always a great event. Get a bigger crowd than usual and an already big crowd. So a perfect day for some football.
Nice to see the town get all painted up as well. Always enjoy driving through town and homecoming weekend. It'll be second down. We'll call it 4 out of the Thiel timeout. Not sure what that was from Jack Thorne. It's second down and 4. Herzberger, a motion across the formation with Benjamin, takes the snap, looks left, throws left, pass caught on the far side, and trying to weave through traffic. And gain a couple of yards near the sticks on the far side. That's going to be Riley Dunbar on the catch, and that will move the chain. So good opening drive so far for Thiel into Westminster territory. Started at their own 25, and they're night down to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Dunbar dropped that slant on the first play of this Thiel drive. This time he gets the reception and a few more yards to pick up the first down for the Tomcats.
Herzberger now will actually go under center. Have just one back, Logan in the set. First and 10. Herzberger will hand off to Logan with a little slip and actually stays on his feet and gets inside the 35. On a nice run on first down. Donner there to make the play to knock him down.
A lot of penetration from the Westminster defensive line. They got in the backfield immediately, but somehow Deion Logan able to almost sneak through the legs of a few players and keep fighting to pick up a couple rather than losing some.
Going to get his hand down on the ground to keep his balance. Opening drive here for Thiel. Tomcats come in averaging 12 points a game, but things changed quite a bit last week when they scored 38 with Herzberger as the quarterback. Dunbar to the near side. We've got a slot right side as well. A wing and a wide out on the left. On second down, Herzberger looks, fires, quick slant, caught by Dunbar. Dunbar going to be pulled down as he crosses the 25-yard line, but another first down. Short passing attack. It's been effective so far.
It has been. Riley Dunbar, who leads this team in receptions already now with 2, his third target of the game, and he's been loving those short passes, the quick pass, just to, with Westminster dropping back a little bit, he has the space to pick up a couple and keep moving the chains.
Jaden Jackson was in on that tackle. Jackson's in along the defensive front right now. Donner, Jackson, Costanzale, Jean-Gary Joseph up front for Westminster. First down and 10 from the 24-yard line of Westminster. And Logan, the back, will take a pitch and dropped it. Ball's loose, and it looked like Logan got back on top of it before Wes Donner could cover him.
Yeah, Donner nearly picking that up. It would have been a big takeaway for Westminster as Thiel have been driving down the field. Donner getting into the backfield, immediately shedding his blocker.
And you can see he just straight out dropped the pitch.
Yeah, nicely done though from Logan, who recognized his mistake. He hops on the ball immediately, makes sure that this drive doesn't go to waste.
Second down and 14, now behind the sticks are the Tomcats. Logan to the left of Herzberger. 3 receivers to the right, 1 left. Herzberger takes the snap, looking left, lobbing left, and it's a combat catch try and knocked away by Lamont Austin. They try to get it to Dunbar. I think we've got a penalty flag down, though. Got a penalty against the Titans. We'll see what we have. Jack Thorne, our white cap.
Holding. Number 18 of the defense. Be a 10-yard penalty. First down.
DeAndre Charles called for the hold. The first down signaled on the holding penalty. Move him into the red zone and down to the 18-yard line. First and 10 for Thiel. Dunbar splits out wide to the right. Crease is on the left side. Quick throw into the flat is caught and unable to spin away from the tackle. On the outside, into the game for the first time, that's C.K. Kershaw makes that catch. He's spun down for a short gain. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
And once again, going to the short passing game, Mark, that's worked well for Thiel so far. That time it's Kreese who gets the reception. The 6'5" sophomore, a lot of tall receivers on the outside, and using their height to their advantage.
Benjamin Dunbar to the right, Kreese to the left. 2 backs now in the set. And it's a fake handoff. Flip it out into the flat for White. Makes a man miss. Spins down to about the 10-yard line. Reaches towards the 1st down marker. And looks like he might just be a little bit short. It'll be 3rd down. See Javier White take the quick swing pass.
Yeah, they like those swing passes too. White, he has the ability to be out in some open space and get upfield. He had 5 receptions in the last game against Geneva, 458 yards. Doesn't run the ball as much, but that quick passing game, the screens to him have worked well.
Deontay Stallings at right corner, able to quickly come up and make the play. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard. Ball on the 9-yard line. 9:31 here in the first quarter. Herzberger takes a snap. Rolling right, looks, fires, pass is caught. It's not going to be a touchdown, but it's going to be good for a 1st down and goal for the Thiel Tomcats. Dunbar with another catch.
Yeah, Riley Dunbar has been the go-to guy for Herzberger on this drive, the reigning PAC newcomer of the week. Rolling out right, sees once again just a little bit of an in-route right on the goal line. It's a big tackle from Lamont Austin that stops what would have been a touchdown.
Dunbar, 6'4", 208, so a big receiver on the outside and using that to his advantage on that catch. 1st and goal, Thiel, the ball placed just inside the 1-yard line. Logan and White are in the backfield. Looks like it's going to be a tush push, and it is. They'll push Herzberger, and he is into the end zone for a 1-yard touchdown. Thiel on the board first on a 75-yard drive.
Keller Herzberger had one on the ground last week. 3 carries, -3 yards, but a 1-yard QB sneak just like that one against Geneva. Herzberger does it again, and the Tomcats scoring first in New Wilmington.
Opening drive off the touchback. And now a swinging gate formation. Here with the extra point, and we'll see if they adjust. They're going to snap it. They're going to look right. They're going to throw, and the pass is dropped. So they tried some trickery on the play in getting the ball to the outside to Devin Phillips, a running back. Jake Herder, the backup quarterback, made the throw. Wasn't a bad throw, but the 2-point conversion fails as we get a look at that touchdown.
Yeah, nicely done from Thiel, using their size up front, just shoving Herzberger in from a yard out. The tush push, as you said, Mark, getting it done on a long opening drive from Thiel that started all the way back on their 25, 75 yards down the field, and a touchdown for the Tomcats.
Take a quick break. Back with more in a moment. Westminster trailing Thiel 6-0 on your home of the Titans, WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Ed & Jerry's Auto Service, 275 North Market Street in New Wilmington, offering auto repair, maintenance, and towing services since 1964. Ed & Jerry's Auto Service open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Thiel Tomcats opening drive, good for the touchdown. The Westminster Titans looking to get the football back for the first time. Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz. Tom Rook is down on the sideline. And Riley Dunbar has already been the guy making plays on the offensive side. He will now be back there up to kick off as well. Bright Cannon and Demir White are deep for Westminster. A high spinning kickoff. It'll be taken by White just short of the 20-yard line. As a break a tackle to the near side, still on his feet, 30. Now goes back to his right, and he's down at about the 32-yard line. So Herzberger with the 1-yard touchdown run until leads 6-0 with 8:27 to go here in this first quarter of action. Let's take a look at the Westminster offense.
We mentioned it's the freshman Quentin Good who's under center for Westminster, making his first career start. Then Clayton Cannon will be the running back. To his right, Christian Bailey, Tate Beachy, and Bright Cannon, the receiving core. Nate Wadsworth, the tight end. And then a line of Dante Campani, Ash Names, Jack Kreider, Gage DeGlonsky, and Braden Micah.
So Good takes the first snap. And will hand off right side to Cannon Jr., breaks a tackle, and then down at about the 33, 34-yard line. So a gain of a couple. The defense for Thiel,
for Thiel up front. Dylan Ahern, Brian White, Alexander Mittner, Makai Carroll. Their linebackers, Aubrey Alexander, Jake Badger, Josh Daniel, and then a secondary of Nashawn Davis, Matt Jordan, Devin Long, and Trenton Woods.
He's second down and 8 for the Titans. Moving right to left in the dark blue jerseys. Good going to throw near side, caught by Grayson. Grayson across the 40, and he'll dive for a first down as he's out to about the 44-yard line. You may have seen Clayton Cannon kind of hobbling off the field after that first play. He's on the training table right now as they'll take a look at him.
Yeah, Cannon was banged up early in the W&J game as well, Mark, with his leg. So hopefully it's nothing too severe for Cannon. He's able to get back in there relatively quickly.
Yeah, it's been an issue for the Titans' leading ball carrier now for a couple of games with a quad injury. Bright Cannon is out wide to the right. Grayson comes in motion across the formation. 1st and 10 for Westminster at their own 43. And Good with a fake handoff. Back to pass, looking and in trouble. Going to get hit, going to get sacked. Back inside the 40 as Thiel will knock him back.
And back to Coach Bensel's keys, Mark. Win the line of scrimmage, dominate there. Quentin Good, nowhere to throw the ball, but not a whole lot of time to get rid of it either. For Good, the freshman, he runs right into a triple team of Tomcats and goes down.
Dylan Ahern among the others to get the hit on him. Knock him back. Dane Simpkins in there as well. Loss on the play, 2nd and 14 Westminster with the ball on the 40-yard line. And Good will hand off, and it's like for Demir White, and there's nowhere to go. No hole at all that time. Actually, that was Walt Phillips on the carry. No hole for Walt.
It almost looked like Good was going to go to the play action, fake the handoff to Phillips, and then throw it. Instead, he gave the ball to the senior in Phillips, and it sets up a 3rd and very long for Westminster.
Talked with Coach Benzel. One of the things he had talked about is trying to get that quarterback off to a good start. It's been a rough start so far for the Titans on the offensive side. Obvious passing situation here now on 3rd down and 16. Beachy in motion, left to right. Fake handoff, Good back to pass. Looks, fires deep over the middle. It's caught for a first down. Quentin Good zings it back into Grayson yet again. 2nd catch for Lawrence Grayson out of Washington, D.C.
It's a freshman to freshman connection. Quentin Good finding Lawrence Grayson for the 2nd time today. A lot of space for Lawrence Grayson to not only get a big pickup, but also get the first down and keep the Titans on the field.
See that on the top of the screen, just enough. Good pattern run by Grayson. Good patience by Good, and the freshman comes up big on his first obvious passing situation. 3 receivers will load the left. Good back to pass. Fires quickly right side. Caught again on that side by Grayson. Got a first down. Grayson inside the 30-yard line and a Titan first down.
Good has loved his young receivers. It was Christian Bailey last week who got the touchdown for the Titans. Now it's Grayson 3 times all on this drive.
Yeah. Bailey last week, career high 5 catches. And Grayson had a really nice catch along the sideline last week that got nullified by a penalty, but good chemistry between the two of them, and Good and Grayson so far. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line, 4:33 to go here in the first quarter. There's going to be a handoff, a fake handoff. Good slings it. Bright Cannon's got it. He's going to score. 10-5 touchdown. Westminster on the board. A touchdown. Titans. Quentin Good to Bright Cannon. Oh, the future is bright.
Mark, the future might be bright, but the present's looking pretty vibrant as well. It's Bright Cannon with another receiving touchdown here at home. And how about Quentin Good? His first career passing touchdown in New Wilmington.
Had one last week, now a home touchdown for the guy they say is a slinger. And boy, did he have zip on that football. Here's Karana, extra point kick attempt at the goal to our left is up and good. Karana still perfect on the year in extra points, and Westminster has taken a 7-6 lead over Thiel. Let's take a look at that touchdown.
Yeah, Good. It was Grayson 3 times earlier on this drive. Now he finds Cannon. A beautifully run route from Cannon, a whole lot of space. Splits the 2 defenders, and Bright Cannon gets Westminster on the board and takes the lead. Mark, the Titan Film Festival invites you to unleash your creativity and storytelling skills in a mini movie competition. Whether you're a seasoned filmmaker or new to movie making like me, we want to see your thrilling stories come to life using your smartphone. Entries due by Sunday. That's this Sunday tomorrow, October 19th. For more information, go to filmfreeway.com/Titan Film Festival-Westminster College.
So a quick answer to the Thiel touchdown. I think a big play there was the 3rd and 16 conversion for Quentin Good to Grayson that set things up. And then a quick strike touchdown to Bright Cannon on the slant. Here's Corona to kick off for Westminster. And it's going to go over the head of everybody, and another touchback for Corona, setting up Thiel at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10. Last night was a big night for Westminster College with some alumni recognition.
Ball place, it's 25.
5 Titans were recognized with
First
alumni
down, Thiel.
awards last night as part of the homecoming and reunion weekend celebration here at Mother Fair. You can see on the screen the height class of 1966, Glenn Thompson of 1968, Christy Lee Nelson of 2006, as well as 2015 grad Veronica Cochran and Christine Rossi. Christine, the rising alumni. First down pass incomplete over the middle. Good pressure that time. I think they wanted a screen pass, and Westminster read that well.
Yeah, and for Westminster, able to get to Herzberger nice and quickly on that one. He had a lot more time to throw as that first drive went on. This time, somebody in his face right away, can't get the screen to go, and has to just send it into the dirt.
Herzberger at the touchdown run on Thiel's first series. Thiel and Coach Bauman elected to go for 2. And Westminster then answered on the Good to Cannon touchdown and got an extra point after the unsuccessful Thiel conversion attempt. Here's a handoff into the backfield, and that's Logan. Logan will work it to the near side with the bright pink gloves. Cancer Awareness Month always in October, so you can see those bright pink gloves for Logan actually help us out, because those gold numbers on the white jersey, when we're zoomed in on that picture right there that we see here from our crew on camera 3 and Austin Downs and Adam down there on camera 3, you can see him really well. Up here in the sunlight, it's a little bit of a struggle seeing those gold numbers on the white jersey. I'm sure they look beautiful up close. 3rd down and 8 from their own 27. Thiel moving left to right. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Herzberger back to pass. He's looking low and fires near side, and it's incomplete. Good defensive coverage by Lamont Austin. Actually had the best shot at the football that sailed out of bounds, intended for Dunbar on the near side.
Yeah, Herzberger, a lot of time to pass there. Just no one open. Good coverage from Westminster. Austin and Sleva both sitting right near Dunbar, who was the tall target that had a few receptions on that first drive. This time, Dunbar, no separation. And the Thiel Tomcats are going to have to send out the punting unit.
Get an opportunity maybe later in the game. We'll take a look at that wrap on Sleeva's arm as well, as he plays with a broken wrist. Landon Jackson gets a lot of pressure, a low kick. I don't know if they got a piece of that. We'll check on the replay, but the ball rolls out to just over the 50-yard line. Ricky Cooper with big pressure. I don't know if he got a piece of that or not. Let's take a look on the replay. But boy, did Cooper get into the backfield on Landon Jackson, as the Titans bringing the house on this punt attempt. And he might have got a little bit of that.
Yeah, and for Thiel, Jackson, who has taken some punts this year, but other times it hasn't been him. It's been Spencer Cleary, a sophomore. They've kind of rotated between them. That's just Jackson's second punt of the season. He had a 30-yard one earlier this season, but Cleary not getting the start today. It's the 6'1" freshman Jackson.
And before Good could throw to the right, we've got flags on this play. 3:13 on our clock here.
Prior snap, 56 of the offense.
Brady
5-yard
Micah going to
penalty.
get called for
First down.
movement.
Yeah, Landon Jackson, also wide receiver from Michigan, taking some punts. Spencer Cleary, who's the usual punter mark from Australia. A long ways to go up to Greenville.
Did spend some time at Greenville High School, I think, when looked in the research as well. But yeah, that is quite the flight to go home over break, you know? 1st and 15 after the Titan 5-yard penalty. Cannon will go out wide to the left. Beachy in the slot left. Grayson right. Clayton Cannon Jr. is back in as a back wearing number 5. He's to the right of Quentin Good. And we might have another move on the Titans offensive line. I think we did. Another flinch along the line. You know, one of the things you think about, Ethan, when you've got a
0 of the offense.
tight end
5-yard penalty.
you get a new quarterback, you get a new cadence. It's just a little bit different, and sometimes it could cause even your own team to just be a little bit out of sync.
Absolutely, Mark. When you look at this Westminster team, time again, a 4-year starter. This is a line very familiar with number 6. With him not under center out today, you have to adjust to the freshman and how he plays and runs things under center.
So good now with 2 receivers left, 1 to the right on 1st and 20. Quinton back to pass, flips it out. Right side, White with a catch to the 40 and across the 45, and White gets positive yardage out near midfield. Demir White on the catch.
Yeah, for Westminster, that's a big pickup. 1st and 20, self-inflicted wounds there early from the Titans. White able to get a big chunk of yardage and make this 2nd down pretty manageable.
A couple of catches against Marietta earlier this year for White. He's got some speed. We get into open space. Picked up 11 on that. It's 2nd down and 9 as the Titans move right to left with 2:34 to go first quarter. Good in the shotgun, looks right, throws right, and a juggling catch made by Bright Cannon. Going to be short of the 1st down as he'll go down. And that ball may have come out. It was a juggling catch originally, and Thiel may have knocked that ball out. And now a flag going to come in as we sort things out. Cannon never really secured it on the catch. Kind of bobbled it at first, finally brought it in, and then lost the football. Looks like Thiel has the takeaway on the Westminster turnover. And then I think there was a flag afterward.
Yeah, and I think it was Matt Jordan that ripped it out for Thiel, the team leader in tackles. This time he's going to get the forced fumble and cause Cannon to turn the ball over.
The ball was intercepted by Thiel.
So an interception.
After play, personal foul. Number 1.
Personal foul will go against Thiel after the play.
It'll be 1st down and 10, Thiel.
They said interception. I don't know if the ball maybe never hit the ground, and I don't know if we'll get a chance to look at that replay. Let's see if we can check it out here and also look after to see what happens with the Thiel personal foul after. You see the juggle by Cannon, so it's not going to be an interception. It's going to be a fumble. There's a ball, you said Jordan ripped it out. Get a number on that recovery, but we didn't. But the ball goes back over to Thiel. We'll go down to Tom Rook in just a moment. After this play, we'll go down to Tom. 2:16 1st quarter. Westminster with the turnover. And Herzberger back to pass. And looking and fires over the middle. A leaping catch made in the middle of the field, near midfield by Thiel, as Kreese will go up and make that catch.
Mark, we mentioned it, having that height, it's a huge advantage. The lengthy Adam Kreese right on that Westminster Titan logo, able to jump up and grab that one. A little high of a throw from Herzberger, but ultimately ended up being the perfect place to put it, allowing Kreise to go up and grab it where no one else could.
Thiel score on their opening drive. Let's go down to Tom Rook. Tom.
Thank you, Mark. Last possession, Westminster talking here on the sidelines. They need to do better on the underneath routes, the underneath plays by Thiel.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, Damien, on the camera as well. 1st and 10 for Thiel, moving left to right. High snap for Herzberger, goes up and gets it, fires left side, pass caught in the flat. Quickly covered by the Titans as Ricky Cooper was there right away to knock down the pass catcher, C.K. Kershaw. First drive for Thiel, they went 75 yards in 14 plays in 6:23 to get that first touchdown. Titans answered. Titans got a stop on the last drive, but have just turned the ball over back to the Tomcats. That's something the Titans have done pretty well this year, is taking care of the football. And Thiel, on the other hand, has been -8 in the turnover margin on the year. 2nd down and 8, under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Blitz by Fletcher, and we got a whistle. Procedure call is going to go against Thiel. And maybe they saw Fletcher on the run.
With the offense.
It may have caused that false start.
2-minute motion at the same time. False start.
Said 2 in motion. Fletcher was running from about 8 yards away and timed it pretty well. But this play blown dead.
Kershaw on that last catch, Mark. Another one of the young guns of this Tomcat offense, just a freshman. 3 receptions against Geneva for 58 yards. A young receiving group that have been performing well for Thiel under the new leadership of Herzberger at the helm.
Yeah, a lot of players with great games a game ago. Here's Herzberger, quick throw into the flat, caught by Cannon. A couple of stiff arms, breaks a tackle, and finally thrown down as he gets into Titan territory. Well, Logan did a nice job after the catch. He'll get it down to about the 42-yard line and set up a 3rd down and short.
Yeah, Cooper met Logan almost immediately, but Deion Logan able to get by him and pick up a few more yards. Nearly ended up being a loss, but instead able to turn that into about a 6-7 yard pickup.
And that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. Westminster on top of Thiel by a score of 7-6. We'll take a quick timeout. Take a look at some softball recognition. When we come back, your home of the Titans is WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Reed Activewear, offering men's and women's activewear and custom embroidery. Located at 1610 West Jackson Street in Painesville, Ohio. Reed Activewear, open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, closed on weekends. Visit reedactivewear.biz or call 440-352-7433.
Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz. Tom Rook on the sidelines. Westminster leading Thiel 7-6. And you can see on the field right now the 2025 PAC Championship softball team. Hands are up because there's big rings on those fingers as the PAC champions, led by Coach Jan Reniger. Second straight PAC title for the Titans. The number 2 seed did not allow a run in the 3 tournament victories. And it's the 3rd PAC title in program history. Last year, 28-11. Also joining the team down there, Betsy Smith, class of 1981, a member of the Towering Titan organization as well. Great season for the Westminster Titans in softball. So we recognize them, and we'll be back to action in a moment, and we'll have some of those numbers from the first quarter when we get an opportunity to share those with you as well. But right now, it's a 3rd down and 3 for Thiel. Big play here for the Thiel offense at the 42 of Westminster. Herzberger's in the shotgun. His 2 receivers near, one far. He's going to hand it off right side for the back, Logan, and he's going to lunge forward, and it looks like he's pretty close to the first down. But now the head linesman and the line judge coming together. He might be about a yard short.
Yeah, that was Javier White who gets really close to that down marker, maybe just inches short, as it will be 4th down for Thiel.
It looks like the Thiel offense is going to stay out there. When they had 1st and goal from the 1, they did a little tush-push action, and Logan pushed Herzberger into the end zone. So we'll see what they do here. The Titans bring Jordan Gore into the middle of that defense. Herzberger is under center. 4th and 1. And Herzberger with a long count and a turn and a handoff. And it's Logan with a first down outside and more. 35, 30, 25, 20. Still inside, still running, and is out of bounds. Down inside the 5-yard line. There is a flag back here at the 40-yard line area. And I think it's going to be against Thiel.
During the run, holding number 27, 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
So a 10-yard penalty on the running back, Devin Phillips, on the hold. And Thiel might send the punting unit out there now.
And that's unfortunate for the Tomcats. It was a great play design, too. Logan on the reverse, as Logan getting not only the first on the 4th and short, but a whole lot more, bringing them inside the 5. Instead, it gets wiped out with the hold. As we talked about self-inflicted wounds from the Titans earlier with some penalties, that's a big one for Thiel, who are putting together a nice drive down the field.
Bright Cannon goes back to return the Titan punt. Bright standing at about the 20-yard line, actually the 15.
Please put 13:55 on the clock,
like
please.
Landon Jackson sent the punt it away.
13:55.
Getting some of the eligible numbers
Thank
from
you.
Jack Thorne, our referee. So a big 4th down and 1 converted by Thiel, but erased by a penalty. They would have had 1st and goal inside the 5. So now a punt opportunity. Running to his right, kicking the ball away is Jackson. Cannon is going to field it at about the 2, and he's going to be knocked down at about the 5-yard line. Now we saw him field one over the shoulder into the end zone at Case, and he turned that into a 100-plus touchdown. This time, though, that ball may have sailed into the end zone if he let it go. Instead, he tried to make the big play, and he's going to be down at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Mark, although you might want Ken to let that one go for a touchback, you can never be mad at him. Like you said, the 100-plus yard kickoff return touchdown against Case where he did something very similar. Always big play ability.
Any numbers from that first quarter jumping out at you?
Yeah, for Thiel, very successful through the air. 84 yards from Keller Herzberger, who was 9 for 13. It was a lot of those short passes that the receivers were able to turn into a longer gain. It worked out very well for Thiel.
Good takes the snap. He'll hand off to Clayton Cannon, and Clayton going to get the ball across the 5 and out to about the 7-yard line for a gain of 2.
Both teams not getting a whole lot done on the ground in that first quarter, Mark. Just 8 net yards for Thiel rushing. For Westminster, -4. 6 first downs for the Tomcats to just 4 from the Titans.
And that sack yardage on the sack when Good got pulled down, that's in your rush yardage, and you can see some of the stats on your screen as well. Nice job back at the studio. 7-6. Westminster leads 13-14 on our clock here in the first half. Quentin Good, the freshman quarterback, will hand again to Cannon Jr. Cannon Jr. to the right side, breaks one tackle. He's at the 10 and out to about the 11-yard line, maybe the 12 as he's pulled down. He'll pick up about 5 on the play, but he'll bring up a 3rd down opportunity. And Cannon going to limp off yet again.
Yeah, once again, Mark, you talked about it earlier, the quad injury from Cannon. Sees him come off to the sideline, walking a little roughly on that right leg.
So Demir White will come in as the back. Grayson and Beachy and Koval around the right side of your screen. Cannon here to the near side. And Good takes the snap, and he looks and he fires in the flat. It's caught by White to the 15 and out near the 20, and that's going to be good for a first down. So just a simple little swing pass, quickly read by Quentin Good. Demir White with a catch, and White able to run it for the first down.
Yeah, good blocking ahead of White by his receivers. Give him the space to be able to use the sideline to his advantage, get upfield, and pick up that first down from deep in their own territory.
12:06 on our clock here, first half, 7-6. Westminster with the lead. Big first down on that one. Torres is going to go out wide to the left. Cannon is a slot left side on this play for Westminster. Shotgun for Quentin Good. And he'll turn, it's a fake handoff, and Good back to pass, and he's looking, and Good going to roll to his right. Good going to run to the 20 and out of bounds, near the 25 or so. And when you look at Quentin Good, kind of a slight build when you look at a college quarterback. He's not a big guy by any means. Quentin tipping the scales at about 5'10", 160. And he doesn't love to run, but he has some speed, and he made a positive play right there to pick up 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And anytime you can use your legs to pick up a few extra yards rather than just throwing the ball away, it's a success. And Good does that right there. He had the eyes deep. He was looking for Torres and Cannon, but neither with enough separation to test the waters.
Yeah, he does not like to run. He wants to sling it if he can, and you can see he waited the longest time to see if either of the players could get up the field. Here's Jackson Koval on his first run. And Koval, the freshman out of Titusville, on 2nd down and 5, able to pick up about 3 here.
Yeah, the earliest we've seen Koval in a game yet this season. Comes right out of the gate with a lot of speed, and it's a big pickup there on 2nd down.
We've seen Koval as the long snapper.
Right.
He started as a freshman long snapper, and we've seen him get down the field quickly on a couple of Titan punts earlier this year. And that time getting I guess you'd say first half, kind of a primetime carry there, but Demir White checks back in on what is now 3rd down and 1 for Westminster. Receivers are wide to each side. Hand off to White, and White up the middle, the first down and more. White's across the 30 and out to the 36-yard line. Move the change as Demir White does it right. It's a Titan first down.
Yeah, White, really nice job. Jukes past one guy and then using his speed to keep accelerating up the field. The last home game against Bethany, he had 2 total touchdowns in that game for the first time since his senior year of high school. So White off to a great start in his senior campaign in the Titan Navy and Blue.
8-yard carry for Demir on the first down. Receivers wide to each side, 1st and 10 from their own 36. Koval grabs to the right side, and it's a fake handoff. Good, get a fire on a slant. And it ends up in the hands for a moment of Christian Bailey. Defenders all over the place, and flags came in. Somehow that ball got to Bailey. I don't know how that ball even got through the traffic of white jersey to have Bailey have it in his hands for a moment, and then flags came down. The Thiel players were complaining, but I think this penalty is going to go against the Tomcats.
Defensive pass interference, number 23. That'll be a smart foul. First down.
Yeah, unbelievable precision from Quentin Good to fire that one in there to Christian Bailey. You could see his left shoulder get pulled back a little bit as he went to catch that one, so no surprise there on the DPI call.
Butcher gets called for the penalty. Good back to pass, fires. This one caught by Bailey, makes a move to the inside, and he's out near the 40-yard line. Give him about 8 on the Christian Bailey catch. Bailey last week against W&J, career high 5 catches in the game. His first career touchdown as well.
A nice move from Bailey once he caught it. He was going back towards the ball, so then a nice move to his left to give himself some space, get upfield, go back towards that first down marker, and get a couple more yards to set up the second and short.
Tate Beachy checks it back into the Titan lineup. Beachy, 64 career catches for Westminster. Has not seen the ball thrown his way just yet. In his career, 26 straight games with a catch for Beachy. There's a snap to Good on second and short. He's looking, he's low, he's going long down the middle for Koval and can't make the catch in traffic. Koval actually reaching back over the defender, had 2 hands on the ball and somehow almost pulled it over the defender, had a shot at it, but the ball just a little bit underthrown, intended for the tight end.
What a grab that would have been from Brock Koval to pin it on the Tomcat defender's jersey. Bobbles it, nearly gets it over his head, but Good, not afraid to go to that shot right down the middle. Like you said, Mark, he wants to sling it, and we're going to see a lot more of that.
They also have a legal man downfield penalty against the Titans, so that highlight reel catch would have been erased.
Second down.
It'll be second down.
Koval had 3 catches in that game against W&J for 38 yards. Had his first 3 receptions against Franklin and Marshall earlier this season. Now with 9 for 87 through his junior campaign.
He's had 3 different games with 3 catches this year. Second down and 6 from the 46. Fake handoff. Quick little swing out to Koval. Koval makes the catch and is going to bully forward for a first down. And a nice run after catch for Koval to the 39-yard line. So move the chains for Brock Koval.
Koval using his size there to just keep rumbling forward. Tate Beachy even grabbing him at one point at the end to throw him forward for a couple extra yards. Really nicely done from the junior. Gets the lofted ball from Good, then just keeps barreling ahead. Picks up the first down.
I don't know if we caught that on camera, but Tate Beachy did limp off the field after that play. He's had some hamstring issues on the year. Here's White in motion. Quick throw outside. White will catch it. 35. White cuts back. Makes another move at the 30. And Demir White is inside the 30, close to another Titan first down on the swing pass.
Yeah, nice move from Demir White, who now is also coming off the field limping a little bit. So we saw Cannon exiting earlier. Now it's White. Very similar story. Good. Finding him on the swing pass. White getting himself some space with a couple little jukes, and then a hard tackle from behind for Thiel. It's Adrian Bahinski, the junior D lineman, who takes him down.
Keep an eye here on the training table. And Tom Rook can help us down there as well. Looking at different Titans have come off the field. And Demir White talking to trainers right now as he limps over to that training area. Here's Good, going to give a handoff to Koval. And Koval's going to, Jackson Koval going to run it inside the 25-yard line. And Jackson down to about the 24.
Yeah, Mark, we mentioned Koval being the starting long snapper. Looks to have been the third running back on the depth chart going into the game today. And now with Cannon and White both going out, it's an increased role for Koval, who, like we said, not used to seeing himself on the offensive side of the ball this early, but he's been coming out of the gate with a lot of speed early and a few good runs for the freshman.
3 receivers left. Beachy is back in there. And it's a fake handoff to Cannon Jr. And it's a pass over the middle. A leaping attempt for Beachy. Cannot bring it in inside the 5.
Maybe a little bit high there from Quentin Good. Beachy really reaching out to get to it. Hits his hands, but just can't bring it in.
It would have been first and goal. Titans on that slant to Beachy over the middle. A lot of white jerseys there as well. Would have been certainly a comeback catch for Beachy. Does not get it. So it's third down and 4. Ball's on the 23-yard line of Thiel. Grayson is out wide to the right. Bailey to the left. Good, we're going to hand off. Clayton Cannon Jr. up the middle. First shot and more. To the 10, to the 5, to the blue end zone. A touchdown, Titans. Cannonball coming into the end zone for the score for Clayton Cannon Jr.
It's another Cannon who finds themselves in the end zone. Clayton Cannon, what a run. Just coming back on the field after getting banged up earlier in the drive, and he punches it in. What a run from Clayton Cannon.
Just a big hole up the middle for the Cannon Jr. touchdown. As Clayton able to score on third down, and what maybe looked like a passing situation, it was not. An extra point attempt here for Andrew Carana. The kick is up. And that kick is no good. It goes wide right. So the first miss of the year for Carana on the wide kick. And it's Westminster 13-6 the lead. Let's look at the replay here as it's running right at our camera 4.
Like you said, Mark, a huge gap upfield for Cannon, then just has to run by a few Tomcat defenders, and with the speed that he has, that's going to be no problem as he gets in the end zone for Westminster to extend this lead.
Look there from camera Sophia Commenda, running camera 4 down there, had a great look at that one. Willie Stenman down there as well on that camera, and Westminster has taken the lead 13-6, but cannot get the extra point. We'll take a quick timeout. We're back with the kickoff. When we return, it's Westminster 13. It is Thiel 6 on your home of the Titans. Right here, it's WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Gilliland's Market, offering quality meats and groceries at 109 South Market Street in New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. Gilliland's Market, open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday 9 to 6, and Saturday 9 to 3, closed on Sundays.
We're back here. Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz. Let's go down to Tom Rook, who's on the sideline. Tom.
Thanks so much, Mark. Yeah, the Titans dealing with a couple injuries. Dylan Sleva playing through a wrist injury, has a big cast splint on his wrist, so see that limits his mobility with his wrist. Demir White also came out, had his right ankle taped up, so see how the Titans deal with the injuries the rest of the game.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, Damian, on camera. Kickoff return is going to be Javier White, and White with a nice return. Javier will take it across the 30.
He was an all-PAC honorable mention return man in 2024.
I watched him a lot in high school. Sharon Hine nearby.
Yeah.
Had a chance to call a few of his games. Always an exciting athlete with the football in his hands. Mark him at the 37-yard line on the White return. That touchdown for Clayton Cannon Jr., his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. And we had mentioned, I don't know, maybe we jinxed him after the first kick, but Andrew Carana had made every kick so far this year. Now 16 of 17 on extra points.
Yeah, Mark, and as we mentioned, Carana, he looks to be walking a little awkwardly as well. He'll go onto the trainer table to get looked at.
Here's a handoff off the middle and hit right away. The ball carrier on the play, Devin Phillips, with nowhere to go, as Sonny Casanzale closes the door on the ball carrier for the tackle for loss.
Big tackle there from Casanzale, who gets the TFL mark, and you saw he was fired up. This is a defense that has been bending a little more than many might have thought against this Thiel offense. So for Casanzale, it's a statement maker early on in this drive.
We've got UCL tears in both elbows. He said, yeah, I tore one a little bit more this week, but I'm still playing. Casual conversation before the game. Here's Herzberger, quick throw right side, it's incomplete. Trying to swing it out over there for for White. And White cannot corral that quick pass. And the quick passing game, which was wide open on that first drive, it looks like the Titans have made an adjustment and tightened things up a bit. Thiel scored on their opening drive, 75 yards and 14 plays. And they had a moment on their last drive, too, where it looked like they were going to be first and goal, but they had a long run negated on a 4th down play by penalty. Westminster scoring the Cannon Jr. run and touchdown pass to Bright Cannon. Here's Herzberger going to fire it out near side. Pass caught in the flat. It's Logan going to make the catch on 3rd and 11. Well short of the first down as he's banged out of bounds at about the 41-yard line.
Swarm of Titans around Logan there. Nowhere for Herzberger to go with the ball. Obviously looking downfield, but nothing really he could do with it. Instead just has to elect to dump it short, and plenty of Titans there to tackle Logan and set up 4th down.
The punting unit coming out onto the field is Landon Jackson. Let's get some scores here. We have St. Vincent over W&J. 21-3, which, if that's the right score, call me shocked.
Yeah, that's unreal from the Bearcats.
Here's a snap to the punter. Jackson will kick it away. And they return to 20 to Sorio, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40. Still going, 50-yard line. He's got a sideline. He's going to go to the 20-yard line, to the 10, to the 5, and a touchdown! Titans! Oh, it doesn't matter who's back there. Gianni DeSora with a big touchdown return on the punt run back.
DeSora's first career touchdown. And look at how much it means to these guys.
They love it. Celebration for Gianni DeSora on the punt return. And I talked to Bryce Butler. He said, got a couple guys back here who can do it. Take another look at it.
Mark, and that one puts a smile on my face, too. A two-sport athlete here at Westminster. Gianni DeSora, also a member of the men's lacrosse team.
There you go.
So quick. You see him following his blockers perfectly. This wasn't an easy return. Had to get by a lot of Tomcats. Gianni DeSora, long punt return touchdown.
And Corana's on to attempt the extra point. He will boot this one through, so he was okay. So Corona with the kick, the touchdown by DeSora, and Westminster has taken a 20-6 lead over Thiel. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with more in a moment. Westminster 20, Thiel 6. Your home of the Titans, WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by the Inn on Market in New Wilmington. The Inn on Market, located directly across from Westminster College, offers upscale overnight accommodations. Learn more about the Inn on Market by visiting its website at theinnonmarket.com or calling 724-699-9981.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Dev's Books Market. Dev's Books Market, located at 3384 Perry Highway in Newcastle, offering gas, grocery, fresh deli favorites, propane refills, diesel, and so much more waiting for you. Open weekdays from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturdays from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Dev's Books Market, your one-stop shop in Newcastle, from books to bites to beyond.
Homecoming at Westminster College. And Gianni DeSora gets a punt return touchdown for the Titans. His first Westminster touchdown, 83 yards. Corona with the extra point, and Westminster leads 20-6 against Thiel. DeSora had one punt return for no yards earlier in the season, able to bring that one back all the way. Here's Corona set to kick off. It's a line drive kick that will sail over the head of the return team. Like Kershaw was the nearest, and it's a touchback, third touchback on kickoffs for Westminster and Corona in this one.
Some flags flying there, Mark, as Brock Koval and a few Tomcats got in each other's face on that kickoff.
We'll see what we get. We get something offsetting or...
After the play, personal foul. 36 on the return team. Be half the distance through the goal. First down.
Okay, so it was called against Thiel.
That's Adrian Bahinski called for the foul.
So he gets the personal foul, half the distance to the goal. And the Titan defense, which is slowly ramping it up, is back out on the field against Thiel. A Quentin Good to Bright Cannon touchdown, a Clayton Cannon 23-yard run, and a Gianni DeSora 83-yard punt return. 3 scores for the Titans here as we have 4:47 to go in our first half. And here's a handoff to Logan right side, and Logan will get the corner, but not much over there before he's run out of bounds on the far side.
Yeah, and going back to the 3 keys from Coach Benzel prior to this game, winning the line of scrimmage and dominating there. Westminster's D-line finally able to stop more of these runs as soon as they happen in the backfield. You're seeing more guys break through, get into the backfield right away, and Deion Logan really nowhere to run on that one, gets about 2 or 3.
We'll call it 2nd down and 7. Beautiful sunny day here at Westminster College for homecoming. Started at 67 degrees, continue to climb through the game here. Here's Herzberger with 2 backs in the set. He's looking, he fires near side, caught in the flat. And the catch is made by Logan. That's actually Javier White, and a flag will come in after the play as White run out of bounds here right into the Titan bench. And we'll sort this penalty out that came in late. I didn't see much from the Titan bench, so I'm not sure what that may have been. Jack Thorne, our referee, talks things over. And let's see what we have. Still a long discussion. Are we looking at maybe what down it could be? If they called something after the play as a dead ball penalty. And let's bring the whole crew together now. A couple more referees into the discussion.
They're talking to both sidelines. Now the whole crew huddling around.
The play ended right into the Westminster bench. You didn't see much movement. Here's Jack Thorne.
The result of the play was a first down. After the play, unnecessary roughness, number 7, that'll be half distance to the goal. That'll be first down.
All right, so they get the first down on the catch to Javier White, and then he gets unnecessary roughness. We did not have a great angle, at least from our booth here. I don't know if we have anything else on the camera that showed what happened in there, but he ended up in the sea of blue jerseys when he was knocked out of bounds, and his response gets him a penalty, and it's first down, but now moved the ball all the way back to the 13-yard line. 3:52 to go here in the quarter. Flip it out right side. Pass going to be caught, but dropped immediately. As the receiver on the far side.
Deshaun McBride, it was juggled. He's right there, slamming the running back right to the ground. Wasn't Logan.
I think it was Benjamin that was on that catch that time.
I believe that was Trayvon Newton.
Newton checking in, huh?
Yeah, Newton checking in. Bobbles it a little bit, and then McBride off that left edge is coming in hard. Nice, strong tackle for a big loss.
So Newton 0 makes the catch, but for a loss of 2. So it's second down and 15. Back to pass. Herzberger throws it near side, and it's behind the intended receiver. Sliding down to try to make a catch was Kershaw, but behind him, and not as smooth as that first drive. And then maybe that's a scripted set that starts out for Thiel, but Herzberger not a lot of time to throw, and that time even on a throw that was
3:05 on the clock.
Was not a long throw, but on a throw here to the near side that he threw it well behind the receiver. So
thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a miscommunication. Herzberger thinking that his receiver was going to come back upfield, cut to the middle, as that did lead to some success early, but instead just kind of a flat out route. Herzberger throwing it inside and nowhere near his target.
Herzberger 12 of 18 throwing the football. It's now third down and 15. They reset the clock to 3:05. Herzberger has Logan as the back. Herzberger back to pass, being pressured, being hit as he throws. The ball is in the air, and the ball is incomplete. Out of bounds, far side, intended for Dunbar. But Dante Curry had big pressure on Herzberger and hit him just as he threw the football.
Curry didn't make that easy. Herzberger still gets a half-decent throw off over the head of Dunbar, who's a pretty tall target to miss, Mark, 6'4", but for Westminster, that's exactly what they said prior to this game. Keller Herzberger, when he has some time, can make some pretty good throws, but if you get some pressure on the freshman, he's going to make some mistakes, and you saw it there. Dante Curry off the edge, getting a lot of pressure on the freshman QB.
DeSora back to return a punt for Jackson, who will punt out of the back of the end zone. Pressure coming, line drive kick. It'll go to the left of DeSora, and he's not going to have a chance to grab that one. It's going to bounce short of the 50 and be down by Thiel, but Westminster gets the football back. 2:55 on the clock here in this first half of action. Got homecoming festivities coming up at the half. We'll have an interview with Jason Mackey. We'll also have an interview coming up with Augustus Nicastro at the half. Augustus is working right now on the radio side with Ben Kelly. Also want to let you know that women's volleyball has a 50th anniversary going on. 50 years of Westminster women's volleyball. Half century of that. They had a little dinner last night. They've got an alumni game that they played this morning, so a lot going on. Coach Tammy Swearingen in the latter part of this volleyball history, just getting win number 700 in her career. Titans 1st and 10 from the 48. Good's going to swing it out left side. Cannon Jr. with a catch at the 50, cut back to the 45, still going 40. And he's been stonewalled there at about the 40-yard line, a little bit short of the first down.
Yeah, Cannon kept fighting for some extra yards there. Might make this a 2nd and 1, but Good going back to the screen pass right out of the backfield, just kind of lofting it over his lineman. Finds Cannon, who uses his speed to pick up a couple.
2nd down and 2 from the 40, 2:28 on our clock, first half. Good takes the snap, looks, fires, pass incomplete, intended for Bright Cannon, right at the sticks, but ball came out. Ball came out on the turn. We'll get some Dar Huey trivia. Let's throw it up right now. Let's take a look at some Dar Huey trivia before this 3rd down and 2 play. This season, Titans not play traditional rivals Geneva and Waynesburg. When's the last season the Titans played neither team? You think about it. After this play, we'll come back to that graphic and we'll take a guess on 3rd and 2 from the 40. Motion, fake handoff to the motion man to give it to White, and White's going to get a first down. Demir White with a first down to about the 30-yard line. The Titans move the change with 2:11 on the clock, and looks like we're going to get into the 2-minute timeout here if the Titans don't take a timeout. So we'll come back to trivia here and take a look at that as they do run it to the 2-minute timeout. So we have time to look at the Dar Huey trivia. I always try to look at the direction of Dar's eyes in that graphic. He looks like he's looking down at C, 1999. So that's where I'm going, just by that direction. What do you think?
I like the answer, Mark. You know, I was contemplating 2021 due to the COVID season, shortened season.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that's not a bad choice.
Maybe they didn't play either. So, you know, I'm going to go different than you. I'm going to go 2021.
All right, let's take a look. It is C. Look at the eyes. Always watch the eyes. So, Dar Huey trivia. Thank you so much, Dar. Our consummate Titan athletic historian, Dar Huey, providing today's trivia question. You can learn more about Towering Titan tradition by visiting the Dar Huey Heritage Center inside Memorial Fieldhouse today. It's an incredible space with artifacts, interactive displays, the Titan Hall of Fame, Towering Titan Sports Heritage mural with all the greatness of Westminster athletics. It was a hopping place this morning as I walked through the field house and saw people, you know, looking at the interactive Hall of Fame board and everything going on. Let's go down to the sideline. The 3rd member of our team is Tom Rook.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark. The Westminster defense stressing the long ball from Keller Herzberger and the screen passes as well, staying ready for those underneath.
And after a successful first drive, the Titans have done much better on those short passes in the short game. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, Damian, on the camera.
Defensively, they've done very well to prevent those from resulting in bigger games, Mark. And Westminster themselves have actually ran a few on offense to White and Cannon that have resulted in some pretty big gains.
And those are some things they tried to do early in the season. The guys just didn't catch the ball, and they're doing it today. 1st and 10. Good takes the snap. Fake handoff. Looking. Pumps. Now looks left and now looks to run. And he'll run it out of bounds on the far side for a gain of about 5. No Jacob Rhodes today. Jake, if you're listening, we're sorry you're not with us. You got a little bit of the flu, so that moves Ethan up here. There was some rumor that Jake was okay and went to some of those homecoming activities, went into that escape room, and is still not gotten out. So we don't have Jake today. He's either locked in the escape room or maybe locked back in his room as he's battling some thickness. But Jake, get well soon, buddy. 2nd down and 8 with 1:50 on our clock here in the first half. So out of bounds for only about 3 yards when they finally mark it off there for good on the far side from the 30-yard line. And Quentin takes the snap and hands off to Cannon Jr. up the middle. A helmet flies off on the big hit. That was Cannon Jr.'s helmet that came shooting off. Flags fly at the end of the play as well. Cannon Jr. got it to about the 27. I think Westminster took a timeout there. Cannon Jr. going to limp off again.
Personal foul.
Personal foul.
Face mask on the defense. Number 60.
So it's a face mask. That may be why the helmet came flying off.
It was Jordan Butler who delivered the big hit. Doesn't get the penalty for the face mask. That's Brian White. But, yeah, Cannon, again, he's been getting beaten up a lot today, Mark. Had that touchdown earlier in this 2nd quarter. Now he has to come off the field.
He's off it. Not the result so much of the helmet issue, but that thigh issue yet again. So move the ball to the 13-yard line. First down in the red zone now for Westminster with this 20-6 lead, a minute 28 to go. Here in this first half of action, Grayson will split out wide to the right, Bright Cannon left. Good in the shotgun. Will take a low snap, looking right, looking center, fires middle. Bright Cannon makes a catch. He's inside the 5. He'll be knocked down there, but that should be first and goal. Westminster on the connection from Good to Cannon.
Yeah, Cannon looking to turn, get upfield, and maybe, just maybe, punch himself into the end zone. Instead, it's a hard hit from behind. 2 DBs there from Thiel coming in to swarm on Cannon. Make sure he can't keep going forward, as he actually didn't even get the first mark. He'll be spotted a little short.
Inches short of that first down. So we'll call it 2nd and 1 from the 4. Clock running at 47. Good has Demir White on his right side. Motion across the formation. Good fires and incomplete. Intended for Koval, who was knocked down immediately at the 5-yard line. A nice defensive play there for Thiel, as making that play to knock it down was Trenton Woods. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. Stops the clock at 35 seconds. Titans do have 3 timeouts. 35 seconds, 3rd and 1. Here from the just inside the 5-yard line. 12 of 15 now for Quentin Good with a touchdown. Receivers wide to each side. 3rd down and 1. And it's a little long for a touchdown. It's 2 touchdowns. Quentin Good to Brock Koval. And Brock scores. And Westminster with a touchdown. Titans at a 26-6 lead.
It's a day of firsts. Brock Koval's first career touchdown as well, Mark. We saw Gianni DeSora earlier. Quentin Good's first 2 passing touchdowns at home as well. It's Koval who gets the Titans the 26-6 lead.
It's a nice little fake, a quick little lob. Here's Karana's extra point attempt. That kick is up, and that kick is good. If we have a replay of the touchdown, we can take a peek at it. We got more pushing and shoving after the kick.
Some more extracurriculars there.
Another flag down as well.
Looked like Nelson Burfield from the Titans getting shoved around by a few Tomcats after the PAT went through.
30 seconds left here on our clock in this first half.
Offsides on the defense.
Offsides defense. And looks like Coach Benz is going to decline that.
Exercise good.
So just count it. The extracurricular was not the penalty. And do we have a look at that replay? If we do, we'll take a look at that Titan touchdown here. Watch Koval on that low right. And just that little lob right there for Good. Koval, who looked like he was going to block, and then into the end zone for a touchdown. You mentioned the first career touchdown for Brock Koval here at Westminster. So he made his first catch of the season earlier this year and continues to add as the pass-catching tight end. And it's funny that the blocking tight end, Wadsworth, has scored in a 2-point conversion and had an opportunity to score on a Wildcat run. And now finally Koval, who is the receiving guy, gets into the end zone for a Westminster 27-6 lead. Titans get set with Karana to kick it off. And Karana with a low line drive kick. It's going to be grabbed and across the 30-yard line and far side and out of bounds.
It's Christian Latone with the tackle for the Titans.
So Latone finishes it off. I think it may have been Benjamin on that return. Westminster has scored on every possession that they haven't turned it over. So Titans had a fumble. They did not score on their second possession, but they've scored on all the others. Thiel scored on their first possession, and they have not scored since. 23 seconds to go in the half, and we'll see what Thiel tries to do here. Westminster does have timeouts. Herzberger back to pass, fires, slant is dropped into the hands of the intended receiver, but then dropped as it was Jaden Jarrett. Certainly had an opportunity to catch that one on a short slant, but takes the hit and it's incomplete, stopping the clock at 20 seconds.
Yeah, looking to go back to that short passing game, it would have been Jarrett's first reception of the day. That's his first target on the quick passing game, but Westminster doing a really good job of shutting that down as this game's progressed, Mark.
First drive for Thiel was 14 plays, 75 yards, and 6:23. And they have 0 points on the board since then. Logan the back. Herzberger going to hand to Logan. Logan up the middle. And Logan going to run into Palich and a pile. And the pile is finally blown dead as they cross the 35 with the clock at 8 seconds. And it still runs, so that may be the last play of our half. And it will be. So our first, oh, maybe not. Clock stops at 1.8, so hold on.
Timeout.
Thiel took a timeout with 1.8 seconds, so maybe they want to take an opportunity to load up and throw long.
Yeah, maybe an opportunity for Herzberger to test out his arm and go deep and just try something out before the half. But Mark, 5 Titans will be recognized with alumni awards during this homecoming and reunion weekend. Alumni citation awardees include R. Lee Heights, class of 66, Glenn Thompson, class of 68, Christy Grew Nelson, class of 2006, Veronica Corcoran, class of 2015, receives the Young Alumni Award, and this year's Rising Titan Award goes to Westminster senior Christine Rossi, class of 2026. You can read more about each of them now at westminster.edu.
Yeah, a chance to look at some of the video on that nice night. We take a look at our Titan. I did think I had got information from the Titan that he did want to have a little joust with cameraman Damian Davala. So I don't know if that'll happen later, but I know, Damian, the Titan is coming quickly behind you, so keep your eyes peeled. So let's see what Thiel does here. On 3rd and 1 from the 36, they stopped the clock with 1 second to try something. So let's see what's in the playbook for Coach Bauman. And it's Herzberger going to be sitting down and taking a sack. That's what it ends up. Curry ends up on top of him. You had Donner back there as well. I'm not sure what they wanted to run there, but whatever it was, Westminster said no. I think Donner's going to get credit for the sack and the knockdown, and that's going to end the first half. Westminster 27 and Thiel 6 at the half. We have lots coming up at the half. We have an interview with Jason Mackey, an interview with Augustus Nicastro, as well as the homecoming court, the band, lots going on. Stay with us, come back, we'll see you in a minute. It's the half, it's Westminster 27, and it's Thiel 6 on your home of the Titans, WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Pizza Joe's in New Wilmington, offering pizza, stromboli and calzones, subs, wings, and salads. Pizza Joe's open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. at 209 South Market Street in New Wilmington.
Back here, Westminster College, Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz. Tom Rook has Coach Benzel.
It's Mark here with head coach Scott Benzel. Coach, defense surrendered a touchdown there on the first drive. How well do you think they rebounded?
We were pretty poor in the first 10 minutes of that football game, both sides of the ball. I didn't think we came out with a sense of urgency, but seems like we're settling in and starting to play Titan football.
Now, Coach, what has to happen in the second half on the offensive side to keep the points going on the scoreboard?
They got to control tempo, run the football a little bit. We've been they've been giving us some problems, credit to them, but I think for us to settle in, we got to start running it.
Thanks so much, Coach. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, Damian. Thank you, Coach Benzel. As we're at the half, Westminster with a 27-6 lead. You can see some of the stats from the first half on the board. Westminster gave up the touchdown on a 75-yard drive to start the game for Thiel on a Kellen Herzberger 1-yard run. Their 2-point conversion failed. Titans came back and answered on a 7-play, 68-yard touchdown drive. Quentin Good to Bright Cannon for a 29-yard score. Corona with the extra point. And Westminster took a 7-6 lead after 1. Clayton Cannon Jr. scores at 6:44 mark of the second quarter in a 23-yard run. Kick was wide for Westminster. They led 13-6. And then Gianni Di Sora, his first Westminster touchdown, 83 yards on a punt return. Corona with the point after. Westminster led 20-6. Titans had one more on a Brock Koval catch on the pass from Quentin Good. And Corona with a point after, and that's where we're at the half. Westminster 27 and Thiel 6. And we're at the half and getting set for homecoming activities, and I'll have Jason Mackey up here in a moment as well for Westminster. But the homecoming court making their way out onto the field. Amelia Mason and Abigail Powell, Miles Hennigan and Orlasia Hunter, Jacob Military and Presley Bodine, Sylvia Corso and Karia Benjamin, Dalton Kohler and Molly Gibson, Alexander Rowland and Taylor Kendall, Kevin Kestner and Anna Sibick, Simon Hauser and Haley Bell, Matthew Davis and Rebecca Whitman, Hayne Webster, Annabelle Turner, Connor Jeffcoat, and Anna Litsky. So they're introducing our candidates here, and we will have a new Queen and King in a moment here at Westminster. As they introduce all his friends and family for homecoming weekend. Great tailgating today. They had the hot spot set up today, reunion photos, athletic events, so much going on, food trucks, many things going on here at Westminster. As we are at the half, the Titans with a 27-6 lead. And we will get our homecoming king and queen announced for it on a beautiful sunny day here in New Wilmington. Earlier today, former Titan Len Rich was here, but let's pause. Here's our crowning. And the winner is the 2025 Westminster College Homecoming Queen is Orlasia Hunter. Orlasia Hunter, the homecoming queen. She will get her crown. And a great moment for Orlasia. Sorry to mention there, Len Rich, a former Titan footballer, is having a book signing as he wrote a book about his relationship with Gene Nicholson. Let's hear who our homecoming king is. How about side by side? Miles, who is as happy as could be for Orlasia. And look at the bright smile for Miles, our homecoming king. So congratulations to King and Queen, Miles Hennigan and Orlasia Hunter. Awesome crowning. There's the official crowning. President Richardson down there hands the scepter as well. And a big day and a big smile for Miles Hennigan, and the same. Look at that. I love it. The big smiles, Orlasia and Miles. Congratulations. And we'll take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we should have Jason Mackey with us. Westminster with a 27-6 lead at the half. We're back with more in a moment on your home of the Titans, WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Pizza Joe's in New Wilmington, offering pizza, stromboli and calzones, subs, wings, and salads. Pizza Joe's open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. at 209 South Market Street in New Wilmington.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Riardo's Bar and Grill, offering homemade Italian dishes, game nights on Mondays, and trivia nights on Wednesdays. Located at 1223 East Washington Street in Newcastle. Riardo's Bar and Grill, opening at 4 p.m. every day and closed on Sundays. Visit riardos.com or call 724-698-7259.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Sunset Lanes, offering bowling, food, and drinks, located at 1218 Idaho Street in Farrell, Pennsylvania. Sunset Lanes open every day until midnight, closed on Sundays. Call 724-981-9363 or visit online at bowlingoftheballs.rocks.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Ed & Jerry's Auto Service, 275 North Market Street in New Wilmington, offering auto repair, maintenance, and towing services since 1964. Ed & Jerry's Auto Service open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
We are back at Westminster College. Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz and with Tom Rook, and now a special guest at the half as well. It's homecoming. You see the King and Queen, Miles Hennigan and Orlasia Hunter making their way off, but I'm joined by the homecoming king of the broadcast booth right here. As you get Jason Mackey.
You're too kind.
Joins
You're too
us
kind.
right now. Well, you've got a great career, Jason. Started here at Westminster College. I'm going to ask you right now, what are you doing? And welcome in.
Oh, man. Well, I'm doing a lot of different things. I will spare everyone the boring part of it. I'm covering the Pirates for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, working for 93.7 The Fan, also do some TV stuff for KDK. I was a columnist and recently had a job change. I missed baseball just way too much. I love being on a beat. But I've done a lot of stuff in newspapers. I've been very, very fortunate to have a media career that I've grown basically since 2007. I've covered hockey. I've covered football. I've covered pretty much anything you can cover. Done a lot of talking on radio and TV. Started all at Westminster, and I'm very fortunate to have been able to do the things that I've been able to do.
Been able to follow you on Twitter for quite a few years now.
I do that too.
You know, I'm not a Pirate fan, but I'm not a Pirate non-fan. I'm from the Cleveland side. I go for the Guardians, but in the National League, I love to watch the Pirates. And let's just talk just real quick a little about baseball and the state of baseball. Where are the Pirates right now? I know everybody complains about management. They do have some young pitching. What do you think about the Pirates?
You pretty much nailed that. They have some young pitching, and people complain about management. It's an interesting beat, man. I mean, they can be good, and I tell people this, like, it is there. It is there. They have the young pitching. They have the talent. What they're lacking, obviously, are bats, and they need a bunch of very serious, very impactful moves this offseason. You'd love to see them spend more money. That's something I hear all the time in my job. Grow the payroll, but most of all, make moves where you can go out and acquire major league bats who are going to help you score more runs. And if they win, Mark, I mean, what an exciting environment, place to see a game, a fan base that is just yearning for a winner. That's why I moved over from hockey in 19. I really wanted to be a part of that, and it just hasn't gotten there yet.
It's potential. I see it in what they have in pitching, and sometimes in a small market, you have to grow your own pitching. They've been able to do that. It's hard to sign starting pitching. It's crazy.
The Guardians do it. They should do it more like the Guardians.
Well, they develop pitchers,
yeah,
too.
Well,
It's not in that free agent stuff. So the Guardians build the pitchers. The Pirates are on that role. They have their own homegrown pitching, and if you just get the right bats in there, and it's tough. It's tough just to say sometimes spend more money because players got to want to come there and sign that contract too, so a lot goes into it. But aside from the Pirates, you've had so much that you've done. Let's go roll back to your time here at Westminster. How did it start to get you to where you are today?
So I started out here as a math major. Not a lot of people know that. I wanted to be a high school math teacher and a coach. And so I had a discrete mathematical analysis and I think like calculus 2 or 3 or something. And I didn't do terribly. Like I did well. And I got to a point in the second semester of my freshman year, I wanted to do something else. And I came across sports broadcasting, kind of piqued my interest, went in and talked to Dr. Barner, said, I really want to do this. And Dr. B, of course, he said, are you really sure about that? You know, and God bless Dr. B.
That was a great impersonation, by the way.
Thank you. And so I insisted I did, and I started down a path in this very booth. Actually down the hall doing radio my sophomore year, but then I got into TV, and I just fell for it. I loved it so much. And I did Titans games on Saturday, did high school games on Friday, football in the fall, basketball in the winter, everything I could, hosted Coach's Corner, all that fun stuff. And really just fell in love with the media environment. I got out of Westminster and started observing a little bit more the written side and newspapers and got really intrigued by that, and that's the path my career took. But, I mean, here, this taught me how to work. It taught me how to learn. It taught me how to, you know, if I didn't know something, to acquire that knowledge and to push myself. And, I mean, I'm forever grateful. I come back here and I get all the feels and, you know, just like loving the campus, but also just being so proud of the education that I got here and that this place means so much to me. It really does.
What was it like coming back here today and bringing some of your family here as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was nice when I was in school. When I was in school, we had to wear, you know, basically a carriage. I'm trying to make a joke about me being old and it's not landing. No, it's awesome. You know what's funny, though? We come up here all the time. So actually, like, it's not rare for us to be up here. My kids are well aware of the environmental trail on the football field. This is our third straight weekend up here. We just come up here because we love the area. We'll bring a football and go throw it on the football field. Sometimes bring in baseball stuff, go play baseball, just walk around campus. I have loved sharing my experience with my kids to where I say, hey, you guys want to go up north? They're like, sure, yeah, it's super fun. We'll go get something to eat. Like, they know it's going to be a fun time if we're going to Westminster. They talk about going to Westminster. So, I mean, that's cool to hear, too.
No doubt. We've had an opportunity to have you do a couple games on the radio, and, it just gets to be, but, like, everybody now wants to be on the radio on the guest side, and I'm like, wait a minute. We need to get some of you guys in the TV side, too, and come spend some time with me and talk and be up here. I love when we have growing here in the program, and it's so nice not only for us on the broadcast, but for the kids to network. work. I know you've had a chance to kind of get close with Ben Kelly on the radio side and talk to him. And I know we had R.J. Scott down there in the summertime. It's so great to have an ability of someone that's in the profession to be able to come back and say, hey, I started at Westminster. I loved what you said. I learned how to work when I was here, and now going back. So what do you think about that connection and sharing back at Westminster?
Well, okay, I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Number one, a guy named Denny Wolf, who's a producer for ESPN. Most people watching will know who Denny Wolf is, but he was wonderful to me, and I would hope to return the favor to anybody who needs the help at Westminster. So students, people watching, if I can help you, I'm more than happy to. It's also a pride thing. Around Westminster, around Pittsburgh, there's a lot of Westminster graduates. Mike Annarella runs the PR department for Pitt football now. Bert Lawton at the Steelers. Charlie Borges is one of my producers at 93.7 The Fan. We work together and talk about Westminster all the time. And just having pride in where we come from and what Westminster meant to us. And there's a lot of Waynesburg talk in Pittsburgh. And, good for the Yellow Jackets. It's not a criticism, but, I want Westminster to hold its own, too. And for people to know about the wonderful program that exists up here, too.
And that's what we're trying to do is put a program on and bringing people like you back to look at what we're doing, to be a part of it, to share your story is all big and important.
And not going to lie, Mark, I just like doing it.
Nice.
So, I appreciate the afternoon of work, and I get to talk about football. That's just fun. I haven't worked a day in my life yet, so I'm going to keep trying.
No doubt. So happy to have you back. Best of luck in all you do. Appreciate your time at homecoming. Enjoy the rest of your day with the family. And again, thank you.
I will. Thank you for having me, man. Pleasure.
All right. Jason Mackey, Westminster alum, and he's done everything else in the media world, and he's king of Pittsburgh right now doing with his stuff. So I appreciate Jason and what you share for us. We're going to go to the Westminster Band. We'll listen in for a little bit, and then back with more in a moment. The Titans here at the half on top, 27-6 against Thiel College. Your home of the Titans is WCN.
Thank you for coming along on this gravity defying journey. To conclude our performance, the Titan Marching Band will present selections from Wicked, a stage and now big screen success. This medley includes Dancing Through Life and, of course, Defying Gravity.
Titan Marching Band, a little bit from Wicked, a little Defying Gravity. I love the smoke out there, too. Joined by Augustus Nicastro here at the half. Augustus, another Westminster alum, former quarterback as well, now doctor of chiropractic.
Yes.
Beautiful. Good to have you. I know you're working on the radio side today with Ben Kelly, so you got to give me some football analysis first as we get going here at the half. As Westminster leads by a score of, I gotta look at my book, 27-6 as we're at the half. What do you think about the first half of play?
Quentin Good has looked very good, no pun intended, for his first career start, obviously last week coming in relief against WJ. No, he's looked really good, has really controlled the offense well, as it moved him downfield, obviously, and 2 touchdowns, and has been very efficient.
When you think about the quarterback play at Westminster, and you see a guy making his first start here as a freshman on homecoming, big crowd, you probably had that feeling inside. What's his mindset right now?
Probably now it's a little bit different because he's settled in, but I know that first play, especially for me, I always kind of wanted to get hit on the first play to kind of settle in the nerves. So for him, I think he had a completion like on the first play of the game, so that obviously helped settle in. But like the nerves of knowing that you're starting the entire week probably all culminated like obviously this morning.
And give just that evaluation, quarterback analysis, one half of football. What would you give him for a grade?
An A, 100% A.
Oh,
I mean, he hasn't forced the ball downfield. He's made really good decisions of knowing when to run, knowing not to. Obviously, there was a couple shot plays that didn't work out that he ran or decided to dump it off, and that's the hallmark of a good QB, especially a young QB like that.
Nice to get that. Threw for nearly 6,000 yards in high school, a couple of state champions, WIPIO titles, so good pedigree.
Yep.
We'll see how he does as a college quarterback. So far, so good for Quentin Good. Let's talk about you. Of course, you had some success as quarterback at Westminster. How did Westminster get you to where you are today?
Westminster honestly changed my life, to be fair. I started out at Slippery Rock University and I transferred to Westminster after my sophomore season. So I was here for 2.5 years, came in my second semester of the sophomore year. And I would say that our biology department really set me up for success. Going into chiropractic school at Northeast College of Health Sciences, that really I had a leg up on a lot of my fellow classmates. Some of them, from out of the country, from Canada or on the East Coast, and even some that went to schools like local. I would say that the biology department really set me up to, understand how to take tests, understand how to study and whatnot, and they set me up for success, obviously, there to be able to, continue on educationally.
When you think about, your career and what you got and into biology, but, maybe not thinking, hey, Westminster doesn't have this or that, they do have a path for you to get where you need to go.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, exactly. They gave you all the tools to be able to, make your own path, as we say. Like I said, the biology department has been great. A lot of great professors with a lot of great knowledge, and a lot of their teachings carried over to make, especially those general science classes that you have to take at the first couple semesters of chiropractic school, medical school, or dental school, a lot easier.
No doubt. When you think about your career now and your chiropractic business, how's everything going on the professional side?
It's good. Yeah, I love it. I'm at Aligned Chiropractic and Physical Rehabilitation in Mentor, Ohio, so just about 15-20 minutes from downtown Cleveland.
Nice.
I love it. I love the city of Cleveland, obviously. It found a great place to work and, help out a lot of people.
We had Jason Mackey here. He's working in Pittsburgh now. You're in Cleveland now. Who do you follow? Are you Guardians, Browns? You Pirates, Steelers? Where are you?
So I grew up in the Youngstown area, so I'm a Guardians fan, a Cavs fan. I'm a Packers fan. So that because of Brett Favre growing up, obviously playing QB. But yeah, and then but mainly the Cleveland sports teams. Cleveland doesn't have hockey, so I grew up a Penguins fan. So naturally, there's a little bit of overlap there. But no, yeah, the Guardians big time. Yeah.
Now, with 40-some quarterbacks for the Cleveland Browns, how could you not have found someone to connect to over the time?
Exactly. I think that was probably part of it, is that, growing up is like I started playing. I always played quarterback, and like Brett Favre was like my idol, and the Browns didn't have that, obviously.
No doubt. Maybe you got to go all the way back to 1980, which is before your time, in the 80s of Brian Sipe and Bernie Kosar.
Yeah,
so you don't have those. I've been a lifelong Browns fan. But when the Browns went away, I did cheer for the Packers and actually had a Packer sweatshirt for the 3 years of no Browns.
Okay.
So
That's
we
fine.
get that
There
in
we
common
go.
too.
Okay.
But no doubt. If you had to talk to somebody about, Westminster and even on the broadcast side, and once you had a chance to do that, what would you say is like some of the keys that really make this place special?
The campus community. I mean, it's been obviously very welcoming. I'd always make the joke that the first day that I showed up on campus, it was snowing. No one other than the coaching staff knew who I was, and I walked out, and a horse and buggy came across. And I was like, did I make the right decision to transfer here? And within an hour of my first class, I met friends that I still talk to every day. So the campus community was the biggest thing. It's very much a big family. I mean, even going out and into the world, like I know, like how we had a tailgate for the Case Western game up in Cleveland, stuff like that. It just we're everywhere, and that's what makes it nice.
No doubt. So good to have you, that chance to come back. You've come back now on the radio side for, is this the third year?
Third time,
that you're
yeah.
back?
Yeah.
And I know you hadn't had a good game or even a win, right?
No, yeah. The first year was Carnegie Mellon, we lost, and last year was WJ, we lost. So, yeah, this one was hopefully it finishes out with a win. Yeah.
It's off to a good start. You probably thought on that first drive, Thiel goes right down the field and scores. You're like, oh, no, maybe it's me.
Yeah, me and Ben said that off the air. I was like, I really hope that this doesn't end up being like a curse.
All right, Augustus, well, thank you so much. What do you think of the atmosphere here at homecoming? Pretty nice, isn't it?
It's great. I mean, like, it's always coming home. It's great to see a whole bunch of people that you haven't seen in a while, and we always have a great game day atmosphere here. And I'm going to talk to recruits possibly,
nice.
but it's always a great game day atmosphere. Everybody's very passionate about Westminster football, so it's always great.
Yeah, well, talk to everybody. When you're on your way out, talk to the recruits, talk to everybody. We got a name tag, say, get them to come to Westminster along the lines. I know they watch. I know they listen because I've talked to recruits before. They say, oh, we've seen your broadcast or we've heard your broadcast, so they know we're doing a good thing here. So thank you so much for being part of it. Appreciate your time. Augustus Nicastro, a Westminster alum, now chiropractor, did some broadcasting for us, played some quarterback. He's done it all. Happy to have you here at the half.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. We'll be back with more in a moment. At the half, Westminster on top of Thiel by a score of 27-6. We're back with more in a moment on your home of the Titans, WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Reed Activewear, offering men's and women's activewear and custom embroidery. Located at 1610 West Jackson Street in Painesville, Ohio. Reed Activewear, open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, closed on weekends. Visit reedactivewear.biz or call 440-352-7433.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Gilliland's Market, offering quality meats and groceries at 109 South Market Street in New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. Gilliland's Market, open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday 9 to 6, and Saturday 9 to 3, closed on Sundays.
Are you ready to reimagine TV and radio? Today, broadcasting isn't static. It's everywhere you are. On air, on your phone, and streaming channels. From covering live events to crafting viral stories. With a career in broadcasting, you'll shape how communities connect. Whether on camera or behind the scenes, you can create, innovate, and make a difference. See how the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters can help you find your path at pab.org/jobs.
Back here, Westminster College, Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz. Tom Rook is on the sideline. We'll get to Tom in a little bit. We'll see if we can track down the king and queen, but I think Tom has something for us here coming up in a moment. So when you're ready, Tom, if you're good and ready, let's go down to Tom Rook. Go ahead, Tom.
Thanks so much, Mark. Yeah, Coach Scott Benzel talked there at the half about how well his defense rebounded after that first drive. He said they didn't look great to start the game, but they clearly have rebounded, now leading 27-6. Rebounded on both sides of the ball, that is.
Tom, put your running shoes on. See if you can find a king and queen out there for us, too. Who knows if you would be able to do that, but they have a lot of obligations as well. But we're getting ready to start this second half. And we'll talk about some of the numbers from the first half and some of the other scores here from Ethan. The kickoff gets by everybody. And running back to the 10-yard line is Demir White, kind of in trouble. And Demir's going to go down at about the 17-yard line. That was kind of, I got it, you take it opportunity. I don't think they wanted the lineman, that's Donner wearing 68 out there. I don't think they wanted him to catch the football. It looked like White was thinking that West was going to catch the football. Yeah. And I think you need your return guys to handle. What do you think about that first half, some of the numbers and some of the other scores?
Yeah, Mark, some of the other scores around the PAC, the headlining matchup, Geneva and Waynesburg both having pretty similar starts to the season. Caleb Romano throwing a touchdown to Keaton Baker, his 9th receiving touchdown of the season. It's a 2013 Golden Tornadoes lead in Waynesburg.
Westminster out on offense with Quentin Good at the quarterback. Bright Cannon comes in motion. They'll hand it to Bright on an end around, and Bright runs into one on his own man, and he's going to go down. He ran in to Christian Bailey and goes down. Let's take a look at those Westminster starters here on offense here to start the second half.
Quentin Good still under center for the Titans. The freshman making his first career start. Clayton Cannon in the backfield. Tate Beachy, Bright Cannon. Christian Bailey still the receiving trio. Nate Wadsworth, the tight end. And then Dante Campani, Ashton Ames, Jack Crowder, Gage Jaglonski, and Braden Micah rounding out the offensive line. Quentin Good in that first half, 13 for 17, Mark, 136 yards and 2 passing touchdowns.
Second down and 12 for Westminster. They tried to get Clayton Cannon involved, but not Clayton, but Bright Cannon. Here's Clayton Cannon now on this run to the near side, to the 15, to the 20. Still running across the 25-yard line and close to a first down. It's going to be real close. We'll see where they mark it. As Cannon, as you'll see him running here to the near side. In the first half, Clayton Cannon Jr. ran for 34 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Been in and out with a quad injury as well.
Yeah, Mark has been a little banged up and doesn't go up the middle there, sees more space on the outside, does a good job of bouncing to the outside, using his speed, ends up getting really close to that first down marker for a 3rd and short.
3rd and about a yard here, 13:35 on our 3rd quarter clock. Koval comes in motion, left to right. And Good takes the snap. And a quick throw, and a slant is caught by Bright Cannon. He's in open field. Can they catch him? To the 40, to the 30, to the 20. There's no chance. Cannonball coming. Touchdown, Titans. 33-6. Westminster adds on. The only chance was there were 3 white jerseys in the vicinity of Bright Cannon. Could they catch him? The answer, no. A Cannon score and a touchdown, Titans.
So much space, so much speed. You're never catching Bright Cannon in open field, Mark. You see it right there. It's his 2nd receiving touchdown of the day. And how about Quentin Good? He is slinging it. 3 touchdowns through the air for the freshman.
3rd and 1. I think everybody in a white jersey thought Westminster was going to run it in a nice fake handoff. Here's Karana attempt the extra point at the goal to our right. Sanson with the hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And quickly here in the 3rd quarter, with 13:17 on the clock, Westminster ups the lead to 34-6 over Thiel. Take a quick timeout. We're back with more in a moment. Your home of the Titans right here. It's WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by the Inn on Market in New Wilmington. The Inn on Market, located directly across from Westminster College, offers upscale overnight accommodations. Learn more about the Inn on Market by visiting its website at theinnonmarket.com or calling 724-699-9981.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Dev's Books Market. Dev's Books Market, located at 3384 Perry Highway in Newcastle, offering gas, grocery, fresh deli favorites, propane refills, diesel, and so much more waiting for you. Open weekdays from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturdays from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Dev's Books Market, your one-stop shop in Newcastle, from books to bites to beyond.
Westminster scores. Quentin Good to Bright Cannon with the long touchdown. 34-6, the Titan lead as Karana will kick it off. And ball to the near side taken by Dunbar. And Dunbar going to be knocked down as he crosses the 25-yard line. That's where Thiel will set up on offense. Special teams tackle there for Westminster's Cody Haas. Let's take a look at that Thiel offense real quick.
Keller Hersberger, the first-year QB, making his 2nd career start after a breakout performance against Geneva. His running back, Dion Logan. He's got a receiving group of Adam Kreis, Jalen Benjamin, and Riley Dunbar. A line of Justin Augenbaugh, Brandon Flock, Trent McCoy, David Birch, and Makai Cordes. And then his tight end is Drayvon Newton.
With that Westminster defense for the moment, and we'll get down to the king and queen in a moment as well. Here's a quick throw near side, and the catch made by Kreis, but he's going to go down quickly. Ricky Cooper there to make the play. Let's go down to Tom Rook with the king and the queen.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark. Joined by the queen and king of homecoming, Orlasia Hunter and Miles Hennigan. Guys, just what went through your mind when you heard your names called?
I was surprised, but I was also not shocked. But I was excited. And I want to say thank you to everybody that voted for us because it means a lot to us.
What about you, Miles?
Again, I was shocked as well. Same thing as hers. Thank you, everyone, for who voted for us. Very much appreciated.
Back to you, Mark.
Thank you very much. And a quick and efficient interview with the king and queen here at Homecoming Westminster. Here's a pitch near side, and that's White going to take it. Actually, Logan going to take it across the 30-yard line to the 31, setting up third down. Homecoming today here at Westminster. King and queen at the half. Miles Hennigan and Orlasia Hunter. Thank you, Tom Rook. Thank you, Damien, on the camera for doing the work down there. And it's a third down and 7. Herzberger in the first half, 12 of 20 for 95 yards, threw over 400 yards of passing numbers last week in the loss to Geneva. 3rd and 7 from the 31. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Herzberger. Looking right, fires slant, and it's incomplete. And Sleva makes the tackle, and it was intended for Dunbar. He's had a couple of drops in this one. Dunbar also a few catches as well. He had 7 targets and 3 catches in the first half, but that one falls free. I think if you see 44 in your headlights right there, then maybe you're going to go down. And we saw the shot too of that kind of that cast on the right arm of Sleva as well. You can see it there in the highlight on the replay. And
Mark, you took the
continues to play well.
Right out of my mouth. When you see Dylan Sleva coming over the middle right in your face, I don't know if I'm hanging on to that ball either.
Punt is just away. And it's going to bounce, and DeSore going to grab it at the 25. He's going outside. Makes a move at the 30, and an ankle tackle there. And he will go down.
DeSore doing a nice job there just to get himself a little bit of space. He juked by a few Tomcat defenders. Wasn't able to bring that one back to the house like he did earlier when he had the 83-yard punt return touchdown. But regardless, instead of the fair catch, DeSore picking up a few extra yards before the Titan offense heads back out there.
After Bright Cannon kind of took a risky return and got knocked down inside the 5. Maybe the coaches said, let's try the young guy. And DeSora came in with an exclamation point and ran 83 yards for his score and a punt return opportunity. So Westminster with the football back and the lead here of 34-6 over Thiel. 11:29 to go in the third. Wadsworth in motion, hand to Cannon Jr. near side, and he'll run across the 30 and out to about the 36-yard line. He'll pick up about 5 on the play.
It looks like the tackle made there by Jake Badger, the senior Tomcat linebacker, has some of the most tackles on this team. Cannon Jr. didn't really explode up the field, and he got stopped as soon as he kind of hit 4 or 5 yards upfield. Solid pickup, sets up a 2nd and medium.
Titans had just 61 yards rushing in the first half, well below that pace that leads the PAC, where they had 193 yards per game, averaging about 6 yards a carry on the season. 2nd down and 5, 2 receivers left. And Good going to hand off to Cannon Jr. Nice block on the edge by Coble. A stiff arm and a first down as they'll run into the Titan bench. First down for Cannon Jr., and maybe this is where we'll see a little bit more of the run game.
Absolutely, Mark. You saw Tom in his interview with Coach Benzel at halftime mentioning he wanted to see the offense slow things down a little bit, pound the rock a little more, and we're going to see a lot more of Clayton Cannon. You know, if he is healthy with these runs to slow the game down and keep maintaining this Titan lead.
So Grayson will split out wide to the left on 1st and 10 after the Cannon run. Jackson Colville will check in as the back. Wadsworth comes in motion. Fake handoff. Good. Looping. Going for Bright Cannon. He's got it. He's going to go. 10-5 touchdown. Westminster in the end zone again. Oh, the future so bright today. Another touchdown. Quentin Good to Bright Cannon.
It's a hat trick for Bright, his 3rd receiving touchdown of the day. How about the ball from Quentin Good? You couldn't place that one any better. Right out in front of Cannon, lets him run right under it, perfectly in stride, and it's a 3rd touchdown for Bright Cannon.
That is exactly the way it looked, and the only question was, did he throw it too far? And the answer was no. Perfectly caught in stride by Bright Cannon on a great throw. Here's Karana's extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. And Westminster getting this offense rolling now. 41 points on the board for the Titans. They lead Thiel 41-6. Quentin Good to Bright Cannon, another long touchdown. Here's a look at that. Great job on the replay. We appreciate you up top in the control room giving us looks like that. Great camera work this afternoon as well. We'll take a quick break. We're back with the kickoff. We return. Westminster leads Thiel 41-6 on your home of the Titans, WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Riardo's Bar and Grill, offering homemade Italian dishes, game nights on Mondays, and trivia nights on Wednesdays. Located at 1223 East Washington Street in Newcastle. Riardo's Bar and Grill, opening at 4 p.m. every day and closed on Sundays. Visit riardos.com or call 724-698-7259.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Ed & Jerry's Auto Service, 275 North Market Street in New Wilmington, offering auto repair, maintenance, and towing services since 1964. Ed & Jerry's Auto Service open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
56. We're back here. Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz just discussing here in the booth. Another big play by Bright Cannon, and what a throw by Quentin Good. 56 yards on the touchdown. Here's Kershaw on the return. And run out of bounds far side. But yeah, you said it, the hat trick for Bright Cannon in the game. 29-yard catch from Quentin Good, a 74, and now a 56. And that last one, the only thing we would just wondered is did he throw it too far? And then we talked about in the break, too, is how good a ball handler Quentin Good is, as it takes us even another second to see, did he hand that ball off? Did he pull it out? He does a really nice job of handling the football. And then it is a little effort for him to just flick a wrist and throw the ball about 40 yards down the field.
It's effortless. It's so smooth. Everything about Quentin Good's motion.
Logan in motion. Herzberger back to pass. Hit as he throws. It's intercepted. It's a Nagy takeaway. He's to the 40. He's to the 35. And a Titan pick as Gavin Nagy playing center field made the catch.
Gavin Nagy fielding that one almost like a punt. Herzberger hit, and that ball just lofting up in the air like a wounded duck. Nagy's going to have that one all day, and a solid return for him as well as he gets past the 35. Ends up shifting past a couple Tomcats as well, eventually brought down by Adam Kreis. There was a flag in the backfield.
Unfortunately, this turnover gets erased with the flag as Donner called for the late hit as he was bearing down on Herzberger. And the hit called late, so take away that turnover and give the ball back to Thiel out to the 41. There's a handoff, Logan, and Logan's short yardage across the 40.
Yeah, Deion Logan just hasn't been able to explode on the ground. Those swing passes have worked a little more for him and Javier White, who last week had a combined over 120 yards on those little dump-offs, but Logan just 15 yards on the ground last week and hasn't had a whole lot more success either in this one in the first half. Logan with just 21 yards on the ground on 8 carries for just about a 2.5-yard average.
Call it second down and 10. Had a really good run. He raced by a penalty.
He did
earlier. Probably his best run of the day. Second and 10 from the 41. Quick throw right side, and Gene Gary Joseph puts the big mitt on it to slap it down. Another pass breakup, and almost another one of those patented one-handed interceptions for Gene Gary in the flat.
Mark, I was going to say, I'm getting a whole lot of deja vu. The last game I was doing color here for a Westminster game at the Pro Football Hall of Fame when Gene Gary Joseph, just like that, comes up, grabs it with one hand, returns it for a pick six. Thought we might see the exact same story in this one.
5 pass breakups now for Gene Gary Joseph. I think that ties him with DeAndre Charles for the team lead. Third down and 10 from the 41. Herzberger back to pass. Pressure coming. He's now looking to run. He's in trouble. He's going to get hit, and he's going down. A sack on the play. A lot of blue jerseys in. Donner coming off the bottom of the pile. Palich had some pressure. Gene Gary in there as well. A sack for the Titans. And a punting situation for Thiel.
I believe it was Gene Gary Joseph who brings Herzberger down from behind. He had the play right before it with the pass deflection. Mark, you said it, tied now for the team lead in PBUs with DeAndre Charles. He can do everything from that edge spot.
So W&J well in front of St. Vincent, Hiram on top of Bethany. And the exciting DeSora is back to return a punt. Very high spiral. Great kick this time. And out of bounds for Landon Jackson.
Geneva now with a 2-score lead over Waynesburg as well,
Okay.
Mark, 27-13.
The two teams we don't play this year.
Yeah.
What a kick. And there's a look at the sack there. Gene Gary makes the play. I told Gene Gary, talking to him on the set of Titantown Sports earlier this week, I said, finally, get that stat in the books. He goes, I got like 5 of them. They're not marking the stats right. He says, I'm there. He's had a couple of, takedowns of a quarterback right at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
You don't get the stat for that, but he's made a lot of big plays, tackles for losses. And on that drive, it was the Gene Gary drive right there with a knockdown of a pass and then a sack on back-to-back plays. So Westminster back out there offensively. White and Phillips the backs. Here's a handoff to Walt Phillips. And Walt over the right side will push across the 15 and out to about the 19-yard line for a gain of about 4 on the play.
Yeah, Phillips barreling forward there, as you said, Mark, gets a couple. Once again, Quentin Good, even when he doesn't have the ball there, his handoff and then goes into that fake. And because so often he goes to the play action when faking the handoff, he can even get those DBs on the outside to bite a bit that he might swing it short to Bright Cannon. And it allows for a little more space for the running back up the middle than as a whole.
Phillips to the right with the pink tape on the shoes. White to the left with the pink gloves. Snap to Good. Looking, fires in the flat. Walt's got it at the 20 to the 25. Couple of stiff arms, putting some hurting on the defensive backs as Walt Phillips comes out shaking his head, saying, yes, I got this, and he does. It's a first down out to the 29.
A guy that used to also play some linebacker, Mark, Walt Phillips, never going to be an easy guy to take down. You see him on the sideline shoving off a few Tomcats. Ends up just getting run out of play, but he never goes down.
Yeah, he's played linebacker. We've seen him at safety. We've seen him play some cover corner this year. They've used him everywhere. Didn't know if they had the depth in the backfield at running back this year, so they moved Walt on that side of the ball for a while, and the depth seems to be there as well. Here's a quick throw. Good on the slant. This one was deflected, and Grayson, actually it was Christian Bailey, could not make the catch at the 40-yard line, took a pretty big hit. I think somebody deflected that ball along the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was, but I was going to say, Mark, it floated a little bit more than I'd usually see from Quentin Good. Looks like he got a little deflected there on the route to Lawrence Grayson, excuse me.
Nashawn Davis is there in the area. Second down and 10. Moving left to right. Here's Westminster here with 6:40 to go in the third. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right, tight end right. Good back to pass, quick throw on the out. Grayson makes the catch, and with the move across the 40-yard line, he's got a first down. So Lawrence Grayson with his 4th catch, as he builds on his career high numbers. Catches.
Number 15, must play for 1 play.
Grayson now with, in this game alone, double his career total coming into this one. 4 receptions the day prior, just 2. 1 against Case Western for 4 yards, and then an 18-yard pickup against W&J last weekend.
A really nice catch along the sidelines, evaporated by a penalty last week as well. But the young receivers starting to come into their own. Here comes Torres in motion, fake handoff to Torres, a hand to White. White trying to bounce it to the outside, gets a good block on the edge, and then he'll go down for a short loss. You saw Braden Micah, 56, kind of clear the edge for a moment, but other defenders there to knock down Demir White for a short gain of about 2.
Yeah, it was a nice block from Braden Micah. I thought White might be able to stay on his feet there and end up finding a hole to get a couple. Instead, he does go down after just about a yard or 2.
Second down and 8. Westminster at the 44-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Snap to Good. Pressure coming. Good in trouble. Gets away from the sack. Fires it to White, who makes the catch, but cannot get away. It's going to be a completed pass, but for about a yard loss. Quentin Good did a lot to get away from what would have been a sack and a loss of much more.
Absolutely, Mark. It might be a loss of a yard, but better than a loss of 8-10 right there. Incredible work from Quentin Good to somehow stay on his feet there, not go down, and then on top of that, get a pass over to Demir White.
How about up on top of the press box today? You can kind of see, you maybe give a wave, guys, but you got Bryce Carroll and Seth Carroll. There's Seth, we can see waving, and then Bryce a little bit more in the shadows there. Is he in that picture? But there are camera 1 and 2, the Carroll brothers on the cameras. Thank you, gentlemen, for your work up top, play-by-play, and Hero Boo-Boo cameras up top. Here's Good back to pass, looking. He's got plenty of time, and now he's going to run it out of bounds on the far side. He had to reach forward for the first time, but I think he had already stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, that should bring up about a 4th and short right near the...
They're actually going to not give him as much as we quite thought, as they'll mark the ball at the 49. There's Bryce Carroll. Bryce, give a wave. There's a nice salute. And they're covered by the tarp, but because of the sun, we don't get a clear view. They're both stunningly handsome young men right up there, right?
Absolutely.
And former Sharon Tigers. I guess always Sharon Tigers, you know, when you win. So the Titans are going to punt. They didn't get the first down, so a 4th down and short. Sonson didn't handle the snap. He's in trouble, and he's going to get nailed. Ball comes free. Thiel trying to pick it up. It's a loose ball. And in the end, Thiel's going to get the football. Sonson could not handle the snap. And then in doing so, tried to pick it up. I don't know if he was going to try to pick it up and kick it away, but got blasted. The ball goes backwards. We can take a look at the replay here. A little bit of a low snap.
Yeah, snap a little wobbly. Not an easy one to field there from Sonson. Just trying to fall on it. Takes a huge hit as well. And for Thiel, a nice break that sets them up nearly inside the red zone.
Bohinski eventually makes the recovery on the Westminster turnover on downs on the bad snap. May have been better for Sonson just to fall on that one. Here's a pitch to Logan. He'll go to the right, short yardage, if anything. Yeah, Sonson looked like he was going to try to pick that up, and his back was to the guys coming at him, and he had little time. Wadsworth got rolled in the pile a little bit there as well. And we're taking a look at his wrist and arm on the sideline. Also see Jaden Jackson sitting on the training table right now. We'll get down to Tom Rook after this play, that loss on the play. Thiel just 14 yards rushing in this game. 2nd down and 11, ball in the 23 of Westminster. 3:01 to go here in the 3rd. Motion across the formation for Thiel, 3 receivers to the left. Herzberger in the shotgun, looking left, fires, slant, pass is caught. And that's Logan, I believe, on the catch. And not Logan. That's Benjamin, who makes the catch, also wearing pink gloves. He's got the catch inside the 15-yard line. Let's go down to Tom. Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. You just talked about Jaden Jackson, junior defensive lineman for this Titan team. Just got ice put on that right knee. Hurts his chances to come back into today's game.
Thank you very much. He missed a couple of games earlier in the year with a knee issue. Titans love having him back. Great quickness along the defensive line for Jaden Jackson. 3rd down and 1 here for Thiel from the 13-yard line. Herzberger going to hand off, and Logan going to get hit by Gore. Going backwards, can Westminster finish him off? And I think they did. He's going to be short of the first down. Boy, Jordan Gore came through at first. We've got a flag on the play here, so we'll read that and see what we have on this flag.
0 on the offense.
So the holding's going to go against Draven Newton.
Penalty declined.
Penalty decline. It'll be 4th down. But what a play by Jordan Gore as he showed up in the hole. And the back bashed into him and then kind of ran to the outside.
Yeah, Gore filling that gap immediately. A huge hit from the sophomore in Gore, who's been playing a lot up there in that nose slot, especially with Jackson out, as we've mentioned, Mark. But incredible work from Logan to bounce outside, give himself breathing room for another day before more Titans came in and finished him off.
Thiel going to go for it here on 4th down and about 4. Snap to Herzberger, rolls to his left, fires, end zone. It is incomplete. Intended deep in the end zone. Is that Dunbar? We'll get a look as he gets back on the field. Actually, that was not Dunbar, but that's Crease. Covered there by Nagy. Pass incomplete, and despite turning the ball on a turnover on downs on a bad snap, to Thiel in great field position. Westminster able to stop Thiel.
Yeah, I think he was looking to C.K. Kershaw. It was his 4th target of this one. All short yardage pickups earlier from Kershaw. This time he would have been free in the back corner of the end zone. A difficult throw for Herzberger to make across his body. Ends up going incomplete, and Westminster will take over, avoiding disaster after the muffed punt.
It's a good back out there. He'll now take a low snap, and he'll just cover the ball. So back-to-back tough snaps for the Titans. As good, he just went to a knee and gave himself up on the low snap on this drive that started at the 16, so a loss of 5 for Westminster.
Yeah, good that time. Smartly just falling on it, making sure not to try and do too much with it and end up resulting in more of a disaster, but back-to-back low snaps that have been tough to handle for Westminster.
Tate Beachy slot right. Outside of him is Lawrence Grayson. Wide left is Christian Bailey. Snap to Good. Looks right, then left. Back to Bailey. Bailey makes the catch, and he gets ripped down at the 10-yard line. So coming back to the ball was Bailey, and actually going to lose yardage on the catch.
Yeah, hard tackle from Josh Daniel of Thiel. Some space there from Bailey, but just gets wrapped up and thrown down by the junior DB.
So mark it back to the tip of the football on the 10. 3rd and 16, 30 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Westminster does need to run a play with the play clock at 16, the game clock at 23. Grayson to the right, Bailey to the left, slot right is Tate Beachy. Motion is Koval, and Good will take the snap. Looks right, screen over the middle of White, catches that to 10, breaks a tackle at the 15, going to be pulled down there. About a yard or so short, though, of the first down, and that's the last play of the 3rd quarter. Take a quick timeout, end of 3, Westminster 41, and Thiel 6. We're back with more in a moment. Your home of the Titans is WCN.
3rd quarter.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Reed Activewear, offering men's and women's activewear and custom embroidery. Located at 1610 West Jackson Street in Painesville, Ohio. Reed Activewear, open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, closed on weekends. Visit reedactivewear.biz or call 440-352-7433.
Back here at Westminster, and down on the field being recognized for a championship last year as well is the Titan women's golf team, led by Matt Torrance. Titans won their unprecedented 7th straight conference title last April at the Mill Creek Golf Course over in Boardman, Ohio. 9th PAC program championship. Junior Katie Rose Rankin was PAC Player of the Year. Entered the final round trailing by a stroke, but surged ahead with a big 80 to score a 4-round 329 and win it as we celebrate the 2025 PAC Championship golf team on the field. And you can see them at this moment. And just speaking of golf, split into 2 halves of the season. There's a fall part and there's a spring part. And the golf team is already 15 strokes ahead. These ladies are 15 strokes ahead through the fall. So they'll have a couple more rounds to play in the PAC Championship in the spring to try and grab yet another championship. But what an incredible run for Coach Matt Torrance and the women's golf team. They have won 7 straight conference titles, and they are well on their way to number 8.
I was about to say, Mark, they are definitely on pace for the 8th. Ava Liberti leading all of the individual players as well. Katie Rose Rankin just a few strokes behind her, but as a team, a 15-stroke lead heading into the spring, a big lead for the Titans to maintain.
Some of the numbers from 3 quarters of action as Westminster, of course, leading by a score of 41-6. Titans with a 19-8 edge in the first downs. Some of the other numbers to throw at you: offensive yards, 382 for Westminster to just 117 for Thiel. Now I'm going to throw this at you. Do some math in your head, right? Or just think about the difference in numbers. 117 is Thiel's total yardage for the game. They had 75 on the first drive. So it's been very difficult since that opening drive for the Thiel Tomcats. Some individual numbers?
Absolutely, Mark. Quentin Good nearly at 300 yards through the air. And this one he has 292 on 20 for 25 passing. 4 touchdowns for the freshman. Keller Herzberger, after, like you said, Mark, an incredible first drive, 75 yards down the field. He just has 106 yards through the air, as on the ground, this Thiel team as a whole has not got much going. Just 11 yards rushing throughout this game.
Titans to punt, another low snap, but Sonson will field it. Dunbar back to return. And the punt will hit at about the 45, but take a Thiel bounce back to near midfield. A high booming punt by Craig Sonson. And now the offensive Thiel comes back out on the field, as you mentioned, led by the quarterback Herzberger, who has completed 12 of 20 for 95 yards a week ago. A historic performance in the game against Geneva for Herzberger, as he went in that game 37 of 66 for, actually, let's get this right. He went for 447 in the game, the first 400 passing game in Thiel history, and the most by a D3 freshman in the nation this year. Herzberger fires left side. This pass caught. Sleva and Fletcher will double team on the tackle.
Herzberger's newcomer of the year recognition as well, Mark, was the first time since the previous Thiel QB, Joey Fell, won it back in 2023. So the successor in Herzberger ends up being the next in line that wins a PAC Newcomer of the Week award.
Kershaw with that catch. Gain of 3. Westminster with a 41-6 lead, just underway here in the fourth quarter. Mark Slazak with Ethan Kurtz and Tom Rook. Herzberger takes a snap, looks right, fires. That's a high pass, and Dunbar going to pull it in. Makes a catch. Juggled it, but able to hang on. Titans right there to knock him down. And Sleva again there to make a play. Bible as well.
That time Dunbar able to hang on to it. We said it earlier, Riley Dunbar had one nearly right in his gloves, but Dylan Sleva just staring him eye to eye. This time Dunbar takes a couple hits, able to haul in that one. His 6'4" frame able to help him out too on the higher throw from Herzberger.
Third down, we'll call it 2. Moving left to right, the white uniforms, Thiel Tomcats. And it's going to be a handoff, and there's not much room this time. And it's going to be a 4th down as Logan takes the carry. You mentioned Quentin Good getting close to 300 yards passing in a game. The last time that was done by a Titan, Cole Konechka, back with 327 yards in 2022 against Allegheny. So we'll keep an eye on that. It would be quite the accomplishment for the freshman, who had plenty of 300-yard games in high school.
Yeah.
4th down and 4. Thiel going to go for it here from the 43 of Westminster. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Motion. Logan. Herzberger going to throw it. Intended for Logan. I think it hit the back of Gene Gary Joseph. Incomplete. The ball looked like he was just slightly forward, so an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Logan didn't even turn for the ball there. I'm not sure if Logan thought he was just going to kind of be a dummy there for Herzberger to look downfield, but those two not on the same page. And if that was a pass backwards, very well could have been disastrous for Thiel as DeAndre Charles scooped it up.
But forward by about a yard or half. Let's take a look at it, and you can see Gene Gary is out there. And I don't know. You're right. I don't know. I thought at first maybe Gene had hit it or it deflected off Gene, but it was Logan who says, "Were you throwing that to me?" There was definitely confusion on the play, and Herzberger doesn't want to stand back there too long. He wants to get rid of the ball. The Westminster takes over after the 4th down incompletion. Quentin Good back out there, and a handoff up the middle, and it's Walt Phillips, and he'll bang across the 50-yard line in the best run for Walt in this game, good for about 8 yards into Thiel territory.
Yeah, great run from Phillips there. A whole lot of space. He just kept barreling forward, Mark. We mentioned it earlier. Walt Phillips, a very difficult guy to bring down, and when he's inside like that, it's just him bouncing around a few bodies, just keep pushing forward to get a couple extra yards.
Good as 20 out of 25 for 292 and 4 touchdowns right now. Burfield will come in motion right to left. And Good will hand off again to Phillips, and then this time a nice defensive play. Now ripping down the ball carrier was Dwayne Simpkins, the linebacker. Quickly made the play. So loss on that one of a yard or 2. It'll bring a 3rd down and 3 right at midfield. right smack dab in the center of the Titan logo. Beautiful turf surface here at Westminster College for football. Getting some of the color of the leaves here. I guess we had such a dry summer, we're not going to have great leaves this year, I hear. I don't know, but that color's starting to pop in some places.
Yeah, it is. I have some faith, Mark. Hopefully the foliage will keep looking nicer.
3rd and 3, pass right side, juggled, and was it caught or not? I think it was. How about that? Tate Beachy. Oh, there he is, the magician yet again.
Yeah, Mark, that nickname's fitting, right?
Ball kind of ricocheted off his hands. And I've always said the magician because he finds some way to get his feet in bounds and makes the play there for a first down. And Tate Beachy keeps the streak going. 26 now consecutive games with a catch for Beachy. And Westminster 1st and 10. And here's a fake handoff. Good, going to throw it near side. Here's another catch for Beachy. Catches the low ball. And Beachy across the 40 inside the 35 for Tate. That's actually 27 straight games for Tate Beachy with a catch. And I think that's going to put Good over 300 yards as well. Because he was at 292 a little bit ago, right? I'll check those
yeah,
stats
that should put Quentin Good right around 303 yards. Tate Beachy, 27 consecutive games, Mark, like you said, with a reception. An incredible streak for the senior.
So first 300-yard passer since 2022. I'll tell you another story in a minute. 2nd down and 5 for Westminster from the 34-yard line. Here's a handoff. Good, quick slant caught by Bailey. It's a first down. Bailey into the red zone inside the 20-yard line down to the 18. So I'm talking to Coach Benzel probably 4 weeks ago about this quarterback that I'm watching, Quentin Good, and thinking, is this kid moving up the ladder? He's got a great history and what he's done in high school. He said he's got great arm talent. He throws the ball and reminds me of Cole Konechka. Of all players who he brought up, here's who he reminded me of when he came in as a youngster from Moon High School. And here we go, matching the 300 yards, becoming the first 300-yard thrower since Cole. 2 backs in the set. Fake handoff, going for the end zone, and it's just out of the outstretched reach of Bailey. On just a little bit too much cheese on that one. And I know that's a horrible pun. Why do you bring that up? Because that's a nickname.
It is.
And we didn't want to just go all nickname here on game one. You figured you got to establish yourself, right?
Yeah, you got to earn that.
Now 300 yards passing in your first college start. Yeah, you call him Cheese all you want. His dad had the nickname Cheese when he was growing up. We tried to do some research and find out where's the background of that. Nobody really knew. Quentin didn't even really know. I heard R.J. Scott talk to him, different people talking to him to find out. And he just said, I was Little Cheese, he was Big Cheese. Yeah. We had the same name, and eventually he's just now Cheese. And we like it. 3 receivers right. Good, back to pass. Quarterback draw this time. Going to run it up the middle. He's to the 10, takes a hit at the 10, and down there.
Mark, you said earlier, Good doesn't like to run a whole lot, but we've seen him use his legs when he's needed to today. That time, relatively quickly compared to usually when we'll see him kind of bail last minute and go on the ground. Good that time, a little more confidence, ends up picking up about 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, that one looked like maybe a little bit more of a designed run, and he will learn to protect yourself at the end. And a high hit helmet to helmet on Good as it looked on our replay, but no flag thrown. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 here from the 10-yard line. Good has Demir White on his right side. Hand to White. White's got the first down. White's got more. 10-5, touchdown! Touchdown, Titans! Demir White does it right, and he's into the end zone for another Titan score.
A nice little celebration from White. Big smile on his face. It's another Titan score, as this offense has been unstoppable.
47-6 now for Westminster on the Demir White touchdown run. And Karana will try the extra point at the goal to our left. Sanson will hold. Snap is low, gets it down, puts the kick up, and puts it through. Great job by Sanson to get that ball upright. Karana will kick it through, and Westminster now leads by a score of 48-6 over Thiel. We'll take a timeout. Back with more on your home of the Titans. This is WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Gilliland's Market, offering quality meats and groceries at 109 South Market Street in New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. Gilliland's Market, open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday 9 to 6, and Saturday 9 to 3. closed on Sundays.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Sunset Lanes, offering bowling, food, and drinks, located at 1218 Idaho Street in Farrell, Pennsylvania. Sunset Lanes open every day until midnight, closed on Sundays. Call 724-981-9363 or visit online at bowlingoftheballs.rocks.
Demir White with a touchdown run. Andrew Corona with a point after. Westminster leads 48-6. Corona to kick off, and he's gets a lot of leg into that one. It is into the end zone on the fly by about 3 or 4 yards. And a touchback. Little wind to his back, but doesn't matter. Take full advantage of that does Corona with another touchback. And Westminster on top 48-6. Touchback will start the ball at the 25. Let's go down to Tom Rook. Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Demir White running it in there for the touchdown, showcasing the true versatility of this Westminster rushing attack. Plenty of ball carriers today.
10-yard touchdown run for Demir White. Thank you very much, Tom. First and 10 for Thiel. Scored on their opening drive, a 75-yard touchdown drive in 14 plays, and Herzberger, the quarterback, scored in a 1-yard run. Now he'll throw to Dunbar, who makes the catch shy of the 30. Quickly up to make the play was Stallings. Another guy, when you look at number 9, who just made the tackle there, Deontay Stallings, another freshman out of Youngstown, Ohio. Really high hopes for him. Kind of got banged up a little bit early, or actually probably more later in camp, but I think he's a guy that can really do some things. There's a lot of youngsters that dot the roster for the Titans that have really had big plays in this game today.
Absolutely, Mark, and especially when you look at the secondary as a whole, too. Devin Meal is not here as well, but another younger guy.
Second down in the 5 slant pattern, and Dunbar can't hang on to it. Slipped through his hands. And Dunbar, who's had a career game a week ago, in that game against Geneva, he caught 9 for 147.
He's got 5 receptions today, Mark. A couple that maybe hit his hands that on another day maybe wishes he hauled in, but a lot of quick slants, just throws right in the middle, getting the ball to him quickly.
5 receptions for 30 yards. He probably could have another 3 or so,
Yeah.
I think, if he's on his best day. Snap to Herzberger, back to pass, looking, loading down the field, and this one's going to be knocked away. It's Nagy, I think, it's Jack Bible with a defensive play to reach in and knock it away from Kershaw, the intended receiver. And Bible, who had to come on for the palate injury a week ago and played very well, has had some good minutes today also.
Yeah, he has. Really nicely done there from Bible. Gets a hand in it. C.K. Kershaw coming back to the ball. Maybe would have been able to haul that one in and pick up the first for the Tomcats, but well done from Bible, the linebacker, dropping in coverage, pokes a hand in there, knocks that ball away.
So Gianni DeSora back to return a punt. Stand of the 34, has a punt return touchdown in the game today. And this punt is directional and away from DeSora, but he will grab it on the sideline at the 30. And as he tries to go back to the middle field, he'll be pulled down at around the 35-yard line.
Mark, former Titan football players are invited back to the sidelines on Saturday, November 1st for a Titan football reunion with special recognition of the 2000 team, which finished 5-0 in President's Athletic Conference PAC play, led by Coach Jerry Schmidt, a 1982 Westminster alumnus in their first year in the conference. Guests will enjoy complimentary game tickets and food selections in the tent on the track while the Titans take on Allegheny at 1 p.m. here at Bury Stadium. Recognition for the 2000 team will occur during halftime. Pre-register by calling 724-946-7313.
Reunions not just on homecoming, but coming up as well. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. And it's Jake Miller now in at quarterback. And he'll hand off to Jackson Koval on the right side. And Jackson, with a nice run, picks up about 9 on the carry.
Yeah, Koval's been really impressive when he's come in. A quick running back out of the backfield, and right there, he doesn't get the first down, but a nice pickup of about 8 on first down with also a new QB there under the center in Jake Miller, Mark.
Jake Miller getting the opportunity. In this one, Miller on the season 3 of 11 passing with an interception. He's also run the football for another 33 yards as Miller had some action in the Bethany game. Second down and about a yard. And Miller going to keep it, and Miller going to get a first down as they'll run across the 50-yard line. And the pile's still moving, and the pile still goes to almost the 45. So I gave this story a couple of weeks ago when they played Methody, but Jake Miller ending up here at Westminster. And the Jake Miller connection is he is the cousin of Coach Scott Benzel. And Coach Scott Benzel, to get into coaching, reached out to Uncle Mike Miller and said, I need a job. Find me. And, Mike Miller had positions in different pro areas with the Steelers, the Bills, and the Cardinals. Hooked him up at Duquesne with Robert Morris, with Joe Walton, who was a former NFL coach. And the Scott Benzel history of coaching began when they said, oh, you know Coach Miller? Oh, we'll give you a job. And he did well. He's got a job. And he said, he was doing sales down in North Carolina. Thought he was doing well. Actually got laid off on 9/11 of all times. Wow. Got laid off on that coaching or that sales job. And he told the staff, and Coach Walton said, hey, I'm a salesman. I can sell. I'll get kids here. And he was a recruiting director and helped out with the defensive backs and has always enjoyed coaching. And interesting that the Ties bring Jake Miller, the cousin, back here after a stint at Edinburgh. 2nd down and 6 from the 41-yard line. 5:32 to go in this one. Ties moving right to left. Motion man is Torres behind the set. And the handoff to Koval right side with a nice run. And Koval's got to get the first down. Jackson is inside the 35-yard line, and the chains will move. Jackson is the brother of Brock Koval, both out of Titusville. I talked to Brock last year, one point after I had seen Jackson play a high school game. I said, is he coming here? Because, this kid can play. And he said, he doesn't know if he wants to play football. He really likes to play baseball. Who knows? And on the baseball roster as well is Jackson Koval. And
yeah, Mark, why not play one in college and you can do both?
That's right. You're here. You can play both. Two receivers to the right, a handoff. Actually, Miller going to keep it roll. I thought about throwing it. Now he'll run out of bounds at about the 30. You want to roll back to the 80s. And 21 was worn by Brad Tokar. And Brad, one of the top running backs in all of Westminster College history. And he was kind of a tall, lean back, a little bit like in that Jackson Koval mold and on how he looked. Incredibly shifty as a back, hard to take down, tough-nosed. Worked at the college here and still does Brad Tokar. 2nd down and 5 from the 29-yard line. There's a handoff to Walt Phillips, and there's nowhere to go this time for Walt. It's going to be thrown back.
Yeah, there was about 4 Tomcats in the backfield. As soon as Miller handed that off to Phillips, there had been a lot of space on that right side for the Titans to run. Koval had a big one out that way. Bethany shifting over, getting to the backfield right away, and not as much space for Phillips to run into.
Joshua Daniel, the defensive back, able to knock him down. Westminster 48, Thiel 6, 3:40 to go here in the 4th. 300-yard passing game for freshman Quentin Good today for Westminster. In his first collegiate start. 2 receivers left, a wing to the left. Miller back to pass, a lot of pressure, and going to hit and drop. Sacked back at the 37-yard line. Really no chance that time for Jake Miller.
No, nowhere to go for Miller. Gets hit once again. Thiel, great pressure getting in the backfield almost immediately, and it will set up a 4th down.
Looks like where the Titans are on the field, they'll just leave the offense out there. Too close to punt, too far to try a field goal. I don't see Andrew Corona down there. I don't know if he'd ever lobby and then say, hey, I'm going to try one for me, but I don't see if he's doing that or not. It would be a very long field goal from this spot. Be right around 50 yards, but no field goal attempt. The offense is going to stay out there. And the Titans will let time run and then call a timeout at 2:30. So timeout of the action. We'll see what the Titans do decide to do. Looks like they may send the punter out, but we'll take that. I think they did not take the timeout, so not a timeout. They took the delay of game penalty and moved it back to the 42.
Gives Craig Sanson a little more space to pin a punt deep into Thiel's territory.
Sonson's had a heck of a year. He's got 9 punts inside the 20-yard line coming into this game. Second in the PAC, averaging 37 yards per kick. And survived a big hit today earlier when he got nailed on a low snap that he tried to pick up. He's okay to get a hit, right? He started a game at quarterback in high school once.
Did he? Wow.
Also threw a pass earlier this year.
I remember that.
A Hail Mary 2-point conversion.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Nate Wadsworth getting the 2-point conversion on that one against Marietta. First game of the season.
Back to the Marietta game. Timeout this time is taken as we get to the 2-minute timeout. So with the 2-minute timeout enacted, we'll take a timeout as well. It is a 48-6 Westminster lead over Thiel. Back with more in a moment. Your home of the Titans is WCN.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by the Inn on Market in New Wilmington. The Inn on Market, located directly across from Westminster College, offers upscale overnight accommodations. Learn more about the Inn on Market by visiting its website at theinnonmarket.com or calling 724-699-9981.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Dev's Books Market. Dev's Books Market, located at 3384 Perry Highway in Newcastle, offering gas, grocery, fresh deli favorites, propane refills, diesel, and so much more waiting for you. Open weekdays from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturdays from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Dev's Books Market, your one-stop shop in Newcastle, from books to bites to beyond.
Back here at Westminster College, it's homecoming. Titans got a punt here now at 4th and 18. And the ball at the Thiel 42-yard line. Son grabs a good snap. A high booming kick away. And actually will go into the end zone. I think it's his first touchback of the year.
Yeah.
Normally he's able to sneak it out. Couldn't quite get it out in that right corner. Hey, if you're still in town, you're watching, you're listening and being part of this, well, I'll let you know that there's still some Westminster alumni gatherings going on after the game and tonight over at Gallows and the Crane Room in Newcastle. So keep that in mind as well.
Looking around the PAC, Mark, Geneva up 34-13 over Waynesburg. In our Sword and Shield matchup of the week, Caleb Romano, 244 yards and a passing touchdown to Keaton Baker, who's well over 100 yards receiving. W&J up 56-10 on St. Vincent in Latrobe.
Herzberger is back to pass for Thiel, going long over the middle, and that pass incomplete. Diving attempt around the 50-yard line. Trying to come back to the ball was Kershaw, a little bit underthrown. 3 Titans were there. And we inadvertently put the score up backwards early and had St. Vincent up 21-6 or something. We're like, oh, look at this.
Yeah.
But no, that was not the right score. So it's been all W&J all day. And we apologize for the excitement. I know I got myself excited when I saw that. I'm like, oh, really? We got a chance to win
Would
this?
have been great news for Westminster.
We got still a chance to win the conference, but not so. W&J in first place after a win last week against Westminster. Herzberger back to pass, fires over the middle. This one caught. Kershaw makes the catch, and he will run it up near the 30-yard line. Looks like he's a little short of the first down. Clock down to 1:36 left to go in this one.
Herzberger getting pressured there. Eventually does get the throw off to Kershaw. Coming back to the ball, just stopping in a zone where he has a little bit of space. Able to haul in the pass as well. Gets close to the first down marker. It is a 3rd and manageable here for Thiel, but
Herzberger 18 of 33 throwing the football. He'll be in the shotgun here on 3rd and short. Back to pass. Rolling right. Directing traffic, heaves it over the middle, and it is incomplete. Titans had good coverage. Coming back to the ball, but unable to get there quite close enough was Jalen Benjamin.
And for as good as Herzberger was in his first career start and that opening drive, he just hasn't had the arm strength here these past few passes. Underthrowing his receivers. Some pressure definitely resulting in that as well.
A little bit of wind in his face as well.
Yeah.
You know, flags are kind of blowing pretty strong, so I don't know if that has any effect on it or not. Damian Tom have to let us know down there in the field. How much is that wind blowing the hair? Tom still looks pretty good with the hair, so I don't know how much product he uses in there to keep it from blowing around. Here's a punting situation. Jackson will run to his right, kick a low kick away. that will be touched down at the 46-yard line. So Landon Jackson kind of doing that rugby-style kick when running to his right, finally kicked it away. And the ball dead. Westminster will get it back. We'll see who they bring out there here with 46 seconds to go. Who will run the quarterback operation for the Titans? Looks like Jake Miller will come out yet again. Burfield is out there. Torres, Bailey. Tight end here on the near side is Hartnett. And Titans just going to take a knee. And I think they'll need to do that one more time. They set this play clock, but a loss of a yard on the kneel down. And the play clock did not reset, but Jake Miller is ready to take one more knee. And he does, and that's going to do it. So the Westminster Titans, who came into this game early, seeing Thiel go right down the field and score a touchdown on a 14-play drive. Shut out Thiel the rest of the way as the Titans score 48 unanswered points, and Westminster beats Thiel by a score of 48-6. It's
a great day at the office for Quentin Good in his first career start. The freshman here in New Wilmington, 23 for 29, 324 yards through the air mark, and 4 passing TDs to go along with it.
There's some amazing numbers for Quentin Good and for the Titans in general offensively, as they really got it going after that second quarter. But Good gets a touchdown pass to Bright Cannon kind of moments after that Thiel score. Corona makes the extra point. Titans go up 7-6, and they never look back. We'll get a word from Coach Benzel, and possibly our player of the game as well coming up here in the moment. Let's take a quick timeout. We're back with more in a moment. Final score, Westminster 48, Thiel 6. And you're watching it right here on your home of the Titans, WCN. Back here at Westminster College, Mark Slazak along with Ethan Kurtz, along with Tom Rook, and Tom has Coach Scott Benzel. Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Here with head coach Scott Benzel. Coach, a big win on homecoming, a special game for you. You won your first ever game in 2014 against Thiel on homecoming. Just how much do you think you've grown as a coach since then?
A lot, yeah. Beginning of that year, I lost 4 straight. So, but we knew we had a good process. We stayed with it. It's been an honor to be here. 12 years has gone really fast, but I'm just happy to be a Titan.
Yeah, Coach, Quentin Good, first career start today. How well do you think he did?
Thought he did awesome. What a spot for us again. Another quarterback in there. That's our third guy, and he provided a spark at the end of the game at W&J. It was good to see our guys play hard for him, and did a hell of a job.
Yeah, Coach, looking ahead this week to Grove City, I know you like to say every week is a season. What's got to go right this week to be prepared for Grove City?
Yeah, we got to get back to being a little more angry, play with a little more chip on our shoulder. I think that's the type of game that's going to require that type of mentality. So I'm looking forward to it. They're a great opponent, and they'll bring out the best in us.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Coach Scott Benzel, Tom Rook, Damian Davila down there as well. And always appreciate Coach taking time to talk with us and then jump back into the huddle and talk with the squad as well. Take a look at some of the numbers from this one.
Yeah, Thiel with 128 yards through the air. Westminster with 324, just 9 yards on the ground for the Tomcats to 139 for Westminster, breaking out a little more in the second half there as well. First downs, Westminster ending up third downs, Westminster picking up 9 of 12. Thiel just 2 of 13 on third down, an area they struggled with. They had an early drive, Mark, 75 yards down the field, able to pick up a few of those on that drive, and then ever since then, it was pretty much 3 and out, or Westminster just getting a stop. So as that game went on, a big struggle. Just 8 first downs for Thiel compared to 24 for the Titans.
Wright Cannon, a couple of long touchdowns, now 10 50-plus yard plays in his career, just a sophomore here at Westminster. Halfway through the season as we start just this second half. Westminster gave up that first touchdown to Herzberger on a 1-yard run on their opening drive, but then a Bright Cannon 29-yard catch on the pass from Quentin Good, a Cannon Jr., Clay Cannon Jr. 23-yard run. About DeSora, an 83-yard punt return when he had hit one of his first opportunities for Gianni DeSora to add to Westminster. Brock Koval, a 4-yard touchdown catch. Bright Cannon, a 74-yard touchdown catch. Bright Cannon, a 56-yard touchdown catch, all from Quentin Good. And Demir White rounds up the scoring with a 10-yard run. Corona makes all but one of the extra points along the way. And the Titans win it by a score of 48-6 in this one. Time now to talk about our WCN and Titan Radio player of the game.
Yeah, Mark, I think it has to be Cheese. It's Quentin Good, 324 yards passing, 23 for 29. He threw 4 touchdowns, including the long 74-yard one to Bright Cannon, who have to give an honorable mention. It would be Bright Cannon, who's 167 yards receiving on just 5 catches, resulted in 3 touchdowns. Quentin Good, his first career start here in New Wilmington, and it was a heck of a start for Quentin Good.
First 300-yard passer since Cole Konechka back in 2022. So a great moment for not only Quentin Good, but you heard the excitement in Coach Benzel when he asked how he did. I think he did awesome. I agree. He does have an effortless way that he throws the football. He made some good decisions. I like, and you didn't get to hear it at the half, but we had Augustus in here at the halftime, Augustus Nicastro, former Titan quarterback. He gave glowing reports as well and what he thought he saw and what a quarterback should do through a half of football too. So great reports and a great start to a college career for the quarterback Quentin Good of Westminster. Final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Mark, a huge win for Westminster. They went down early, but like you said, 48 unanswered for the Titans. I honestly think Thiel getting that opening score did ignite a little bit of a fire in this Titan team. It let the defense focus a little more and make sure that they prove that they are still one of the top defenses in the conference. And then we've talked about him all day, but Quentin Good throwing for 300 yards for the first time for a Titan quarterback since 2022. What a way to start off your career in that Westminster jersey.
Some upcoming broadcasts on WCN and Titan Radio. We've got some high school football coming up next weekend. Karn City will take on Wilmington. That'll be a really good Week 10 game, and get ready for a playoff game for both of those teams. Really good teams. Westminster will take on Grove City next Saturday. That'll be on the Titan Radio. Ben Kelly, Jacob Rhodes on the call of that one. Allegheny and Westminster then back here on the 1st of November, and then we stay home one more time for a game against Hiram on November the 8th. So stay with us on WCN and Titan Radio for those games as well. And at this point, that's going to wrap it up here. The broadcast was brought to you by the Broadcasting and Sports Communication Program at Westminster College, providing real-world experience in today's media for tomorrow's producers. I'd like to thank the crew, Ethan Kurtz on color. Great job, buddy. Ben Kelly and Augustus Nicastro on the radio side. Our director, Jacob Walzer. Braylon Juzak on replay. Ethan Shones, the master of the graphics machine. Great job, Ethan. On audio, Emily Tallis. The Carroll brothers, Seth and Bryce, on cameras 1 and 2. Also running camera today, Austin Downs, Adam Teixeira, Sophia Commenda, Lily Stenman. On the wireless, it was Damian Davala. And our sideline man was Tom Rook. Thank you, crew, for a wonderful job. And thank you, Gary Swanson, for all that you do back at the studio. Thank you to the crew. Thank you to my guys, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Slazak. The final score in this one, Westminster 48, Thiel 6. You've been watching Titan football on your home of the Titans, WCN. You have a good night.